This is Noise. Listener, can you hear me? Kept you waiting, huh? Looks like there's more content at pixelbenders.com. You'll have to click the link in the description below to access the site. You can send your questions to info@pixel-benders.com. If you would like to leave us a message, our frequency is 209-791-0995. Got it? Okay, you're ready to go. Welcome back, everybody, to Codec Calls, a Metal Gear Saga podcast, where we play the Metal Gear games from 1987 all the way to the present in chronological release date order. I am one of your hosts, Noise1, also known as Luis, and then I have my two, what did I say in the first take, compadres with me. German, you call me Riser, Contra, either one.
I am Dammit Kriss, a.k.a. Kriss, a.k.a. the world's worst gamer.
So if you heard me there, this is our second take. My computer decided to crash after 10 minutes, and it did not save anything, which is awesome, because we had some really good banter going.
You guys missed the funniest jokes ever.
Yeah, seriously.
And the secret of life, too. You'll never know.
We'll never tell it again. It's
the
gone.
Question to the answer of 42.
Yes. No, that's the answer.
Right, but I'm saying they missed the question.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, what? That was so bass-backwards. I was like, what the hell? Anyways, so first and foremost, apologies for taking an extra week to get this episode out. I was trying to do the episode 10.5 midweek so that you didn't have to wait an entire 2 weeks to get the Metal Gear Solid 2 episode, but things got a little busy for me, and it just didn't work out. But we're here. It's been 2 weeks. We're somehow out of our element, and the flow just keeps getting fucked up.
Yeah.
We had a good 10 minutes, and then it's just like, nah. So we're risking it again. Hopefully this all gets recorded.
Yeah, we're risking it all for you guys. I hope you appreciate it.
Yeah, we're risking it all. I guess we actually have someone to blame, because Kriss just told me that he's wearing a fucking blue screen of death shirt.
Yep.
So blame Kriss for you guys missing the question to 42. That's the Jeopardy. Has there ever been a Jeopardy answer where it's just 42?
Oh, man.
And someone just goes, what is the meaning of life?
What is the meaning of life, the universe, and everything?
Yeah. That'd be one of the greatest Jeopardy answers ever.
Yeah.
Anyways, what have you guys been up to these past 2 weeks? What games have you been playing?
So my friend got me into Boulder Gate 3. So should I say it? Fuck it, I'll say it. Not enough people listen to it. So apparently if you own it on Steam, you can have your friend log into his Steam account, download the game, go in offline mode, and you can still play online mode. So yeah, there you go. Have fun. If you have own Baldur's Gate 3, you want to share it with your friend.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, as long as you play in offline mode, you can play.
No, we're playing online.
Like that. What?
No, we're playing online.
Interesting.
But Steam is offline, and Baldur's Gate, we're playing it online.
Huh.
Yeah.
So you're actually like playing together?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering why you were mentioning Baldur's Gate 3 today. I was like, that's a weird fucking game for German to mention. Like, I've never heard German be into like CRPGs. Like, that was really odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling him and our other coworker that there's a speed run. Kriss, you might know this one. It's called Sex%.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so because you can sleep with anybody certain people in the game.
Yeah.
And so the speed run is how quickly could you sleep with somebody? So that's a speed run that exists. Yeah, Kriss, what have you been doing?
I've been doing a lot of D&D stuff. I'm in a campaign right now that I'm DMing, and I'm preparing for another campaign I'll be doing in a few months here, and I've been basically working on that. So.
Okay. Are you talking about the one including me?
If you want to be part of this one, I will have you. I'm gonna do a one shot with you first, just to kind of get you a feel for it.
I'm not talking about the other one. No, that's
too
much. That's too much time investment. I'm down for the one shot for sure, though.
Yeah, but yeah, if you want to be part of the other one, like it's D&D is one of those things where if you play with 3 people or well, not, I was going to say 13. That would be really tough. But if you play with 3 purple people or 5 people, it's not really that different.
Purple people eaters?
Yeah. Yeah. I can't talk today. Oh my gosh. I just, you guys missed earlier. I said something, and instead of, you can call me, I think I said you can doll me or something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In the first take. Yeah.
Yeah. That's lost to the ether. But yeah, so if you want to join, you can. Obviously, I want to get you in the one shot first to kind of get you a feel for it and a taste for it and everything, rather than here, try this campaign where you're gonna, have to give me 3 years of your life or something.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've been working on that and getting started and everything, and I'm really excited about it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. And what's funny is German is playing D&D.
Yeah.
In Baldur's Gate 3, yeah.
Yeah. It's Wizards of the Coast, which is who owns D&D, actually bought that game. They bought the rights to it, I think, or something like that.
The Baldur's?
So, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Because it was doing so well, so they're like, oh, we want a piece of that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Wizards never change. You somehow keep I don't know. I hear bad things from the... why can't I think of the game?
Magic the Gathering?
Yes, Magic the Gathering community. They're just like, Wizards are fucking ridiculous. Just doing really dumb decisions, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty interested in what Larian's going to do next, because they said no DLC and no Baldur's Gate 4. They're going to do a brand new IP, which I'm kind of stoked for them, because I mean, I'd play Baldur's Gate 1 with a buddy of mine on PS2 for a little bit. And I think, German, you were talking with somebody also about that, because it was like it was top down and hack and slash and stuff.
Yeah. He was telling me. I've never played any of them. This is the first one. Mm-hmm.
That's why when he said that, I was like, oh yeah, I totally did play that version too. And it's more like Diablo is how like the first Baldur's Gate was. Mm-hmm. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, I'm excited for Larian to do something different, because before Baldur's Gate 3 they were doing what is it called? They did Divinity. Is that what it's called? Divinity
2?
Yeah, they did Divinity 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Whatever. There's like a subtitle to it.
Original Sin.
Thank you.
Yeah. That was another fun game.
I started that one with him, and likewise, we never finished it. So when he wanted to play this Baldur's Gate 3, I was like, dude, we didn't even finish Divinity. He's like, this one's better. Let's play this one. And like I said, it took us an hour to get it to work, but we got it to work. So
I think your buddy just wants to sleep with you in game. He's like, okay, now you turn into a bear, and then oh man.
German, do you remember For the King?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Bonnie and I were talking about that today too.
That game's fun, didn't it?
Yeah, we need to play that again.
I'm down.
And when you just quit?
We just kind of stopped playing. Yeah,
I got them to get the game, and then it was during one of my hiatus where I just never logged back into my PlayStation for like 2 months.
That's such a me move. Like I do that too. Like dude, come play this game with us, and I'm spending weeks trying to convince this person, and finally when they play, I'm like on to something else now.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's 100% true.
I mean, I think part of it is karma for me though, because there was one time, this was years ago, I had started working at Staples. And I remember German was looking for a job, and he's like, oh, I need a work. I was like, oh, come work here. I work here, and we'll work together, and it'll be great. And then like a month after he started working there, my wife got a really bad infection, and I ended up leaving because I couldn't stick around, and it wasn't working out and everything. And I ended up leaving like a month after he started there, and I felt so bad about it.
Well, even during that month you were there, I saw you like twice. Yeah, we were just on different days, on different schedules. So
yeah, we pretty much had the same job, so it was just like we didn't work at the same time mostly.
This is exactly how German and I work together now. Like I'm like, come get this job, and I'm telling him like he's a hard worker, and it's like cool, and he gets put on the opposite schedule of me, and then mostly gets sent to the north part of the lake, and I'm in the south shore, and then I'm like, well, I'm moving away, I bought a house, and so I come down, and then I have a midweek, like a Monday through Friday schedule now, and then he comes down, right? You came down first before they changed me, so you come down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you have my old schedule, and then they dissolve my department And then they're like, what schedule do you want? And I'm like, well, I kind of want like my old schedule back, where I'm like Tuesday through Saturday. And the other tech that also got dissolved or absorbed, pretty much is what happened. He needed it because that's the only time he like gets to see his kid. And I was like, well, fuck it, I'll do the other schedules. So now German and I again are on opposite schedules and in opposite cities. So it's just like,
yeah,
like, well, I mean, we see each other like once a week.
Yeah, Wednesdays. Well, it does kind of suck because like at least now for real is the only day I can kind of call you at least while you're on work is Wednesdays and Thursdays, I guess. But still, like when we were at least up in Tahoe in different cities, different sides, there was at least more days I could call you and be like, yo, man, how do I do this? How do I do that?
Yeah.
Like now I'm like, who the fuck do I call, man?
And we could still back each other up. We could still be like, oh, you need equipment? Like we could go to each other pretty quickly. Like now if we need equipment, it's like, you're fucked, bro. Go talk to your buddies over there in your city. Oh, man. But anyways,
let's get started. Yeah.
Let's get into the nitty gritty as Nacho Libre would say.
Yeah. Jeremy needs to watch that movie again. He needs to watch it more.
I should watch it more. It is pretty funny. I won't lie. It is a pretty funny movie.
Nacho.
I do like it. I do quote it a lot more now. It's so fucking funny, dude. Yeah. And I think I've only seen it just that one time with you guys. And I think so, I liked it enough where I quote it. It's funny. Kriss, I think we need to start with you, obviously, since I think the format we've been doing kind of works out where right now we just go, Kriss, what do you think? And then we start getting into Easter eggs and all that other stuff. So, Kriss, what did you think?
It was a struggle for me. Anyone who was there to watch my stream.
I forgot.
You know what though? It wasn't that bad. Okay, you say you struggled. I think. Well, I did miss a section of it, but
let me chime in real quick. He did a lot of the stuff that I think you and I did. Learning the game.
Sure.
He obviously did not have as much time with Metal Gear Solid 1 as we did. So. So there was not a lot of like muscle memory of like, I already know how to do this. I already know how to do that. There was a ton of new mechanics introduced to him that he in the trailer reaction said, "Well, I'm not going to remember that," and he definitely didn't. He didn't use the hanging whatsoever.
Yeah. Didn't do the hanging.
Didn't lean to the didn't lean out of the
jump
corners.
Shots,
Well, what else is there?
R1 didn't dive.
Oh my god, he had no idea about the first person. I think that's when I came in, is when you were fighting Olga.
Yeah.
And I think German was saying, what were you saying, German?
I think I said like have you tried all the buttons? I think that's what we say.
That's what we always say.
There's thing called buttons, Kriss. Try them. He's like, I did. I tried all of them. You're like, oh, first person. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I think he did a lot of the same stuff that I'm sure we did as teenagers or kids. But he also did a lot of Kriss things that were just like that whole R1 thing where it's just like, the button exists. I know he's used it, but why he didn't use it while shooting was like beyond me. But yeah, go ahead, Kriss.
Like you say, the Olga fight was a lot of fun. I played on normal this round, by the way. I didn't play on easy, which may be considered easy now because there's a hard mode. Yeah, I played on normal. And I had a lot of fun. I had a blast with it. Obviously, people in chat roast me and everything. And I'm used to it. That's not a problem with me. It's never bothered me. It's never gotten to me. I just have fun. They're having fun, too. That's all that matters.
Some are having fun. You can tell some are like, for real, like, just, Kriss, just get past this part, Kriss.
Some of them are trying to go to freaking bed.
Who was it? Was it Spy or I don't remember who it was with the pictures parts where I was like, I'll take a picture of the commander.
Yeah.
And you took like 7, 8 of them and you based the ones you had already.
Oh,
like, just take the fucking pictures. But by the way, I don't know if you saw my stream, but I did a lot of little Easter eggs. So if you haven't seen it, check it out because it is funny. You take a picture of Colonel Jackson there, and I think it's 3. 3 is the max that Otacon will react to.
Yeah.
And the first one, he's like, "What?" He's like, "What's this?" He goes like, "Oh, okay, cool, man. If you like, that's you do you or something like that."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Stop sending me pictures of the
Stop
commander."
messing around. Yeah.
And then he sends another one. He goes, "For reals, man. What the hell's wrong with you? Just stop sending me fucking pictures." And then that's all just repeat. But it's fun to mess with Otacon during that section. But
I didn't know that he would have multiple reactions.
Yeah, he has multiple reactions too.
I always knew. Yeah, I always knew you could like take pictures of like the guy in the underwear,
The girls.
the girls, the Easter egg with Ocelot, which we'll tell Chris at the end. But that one, like I always knew there was like a first reaction.
Yeah.
But when you did that with the commander, I was like, what if I do this with the Ocelot one? And he does react multiple times.
Yeah, he does. He does three reactions as well.
What the hell? I was like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm. I think the girly ones are the only ones he does only the single reaction. It's always the same one. Like what is this? Or somebody's like, I'll back this up for later. And only he says that one, and then the other one's like the underwear. He just laughs his head off. And the Muscle Man poster. I think that's a single shot reaction too. I don't recall, but anyways, I don't remember if he does anything. If you take a picture of the Vulcan toy,
the shadow,
or the shadow, or the toy,
he does react with the toy.
Oh, does he? Okay,
I forget what he says. I did take a picture, but I don't remember what he said.
I think he says something about Olga too. I forgot to take a picture of Olga. And when you knock her out, I think he says something about her.
I do know he calls you a psychopath if you shoot her.
Well, I remember Chris. I was like, shoot her, and then like someone's like, no, move, and I'm like, no, shoot her for real, shoot her. And you're like, all right, and just left. Like, no, Chris, go back and shoot.
Well, oh my god, and trying to get Chris to pick her up.
Oh, I thought that was so funny because Chris goes, why is she breathing? And everybody in chat was like, because she's fucking like sleeping, bro. Like, we're like darts. Bro. Chris doesn't fucking sleep breathe when he sleeps, I guess.
I mean, logically, I'm guessing Chris was like, oh, I just tranked her with like 20 tranks. I'm sure she's dead. Like in real life, would die from.
It's worse than that. I thought I was using a regular gun. I forgot I was using a trait gun.
Oh, really? So okay, now you knock her out. Which I guess we're just kind of going all over the place right now. Which I was gonna say, in the version I'm playing, the Master, I'm assuming it's HD or whatever, because I have the HD versions, but I don't think I've ever played Metal Gear 2 HD because I still hate to say it's probably my least favorite game. So I always go to 3, and dude, like I forgot that she has a freaking scar across her face. Because in the original,
Oh yeah, across like the top bridge of her nose.
Yeah, because in the original, like I remember seeing it, but it's very, it's pixelated. It's not as pretty. And goddamn, her pits, I didn't forget about that. But I still to this day, when I got to that scene, I was like, yeah, I remember. They're fucking hairy pits, and I don't know like what he was going for, or maybe
she was like, trank me like one of your French girls.
I get it. It's a different country, and I get it. Maybe a soldier wouldn't give a fuck about her aesthetics, but I always do think it's so funny that like they're not just kind of like what do you call it, like on off to the side. They're like front and center, man. Like you cannot miss them.
It wasn't like little whatever. They were like, let's get this really thick.
Yeah, I mean, thick straight
lines.
Up.
Yeah, they weren't hiding it.
No, not at all. I mean, it was brown, straight up dark hair. It wasn't even like blonde. She's like blondish too, which is weird, interesting. So
yeah, the curtains match the. I mean, those aren't drapes. Those are. What is armpit hair?
Curtains.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so I had fun watching Chris, and then I did my stream like a day later, I think, and Bacon was there, and I think he was there for a little bit. Luis, were you there?
Yes.
Yeah, you were. And I forgot how much I like this game. I hate to say that it's probably my least favorite, but I forgot how much I did like this game. Right now, I'm actually listening to tanker music, and it's really subtle in the background, and it's because I missed it. I missed that soundtrack. It's a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I had fun. Like I had tons of fun myself. I had fun watching Chris play it, and I had fun myself playing it. So this was a good game. Again, I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours on this game. Hundreds. Yeah. And I forget that sometimes, Chris, we weren't picking on you in any way, shape, or form. But like we were like again, oh, push the projector. Oh, Chris, shoot this. Oh, Chris, do that. Oh, because I was like, Chris, there's so much in this game. Yeah. I mean, when we played these missions over and over and over and over again, especially like I said, I didn't have a memory card for like the first month or so I did tanker nonstop. Because I just couldn't save the game. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's just a million Easter eggs. There's a million of them, and it's so fun to just, when you discovered them for the first time, back in the day. So that's why I was like excited. But Chris, keep pushing the projector because it's super funny. Because then you're like, what's going on?
And I totally forgot about that it starts playing those
The girls.
Yeah, they're called like the Konami girls or something like that. Like they're actually models that work for Konami.
Oh, really? Okay.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, so it's not like pervy stuff, but it's
No.
It's like they're women that promote the video games and the company and whatever. And
No, yeah.
it's just like the camera angle for sure is like real pervy because it's just like this chick just kind of like chilling there,
Yeah.
and then the camera's like panning around her, and she's like kind of looking like, what are you doing, recording me in my underwear?
Yeah. It's very interesting. And then I always love so the first time I saw it, I think Kriss had the same reaction I did because you're like pushing, you're like, what the fuck, and you keep pushing, and there's two of them. You're like, what happens if I keep going? And all of a sudden it goes to the commander, and they all flip around. They're like, what the fuck? You got rid of our girl.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny little. I get there's hundreds of Easter eggs, and I think if you ever get a chance to go back and play any of these, especially like 2 and 3, you'll see all the Easter eggs that are out there.
Yeah.
And I do want to correct something that I said back when we were initially talking about the Master Collection. I don't know when I mentioned it, maybe not too long ago, but maybe at the beginning sometime. I said that the Master Collection only had the base games, which is untrue because you obviously played it, and it does have Snake Tales on there. It does have the VR missions and all the extras and everything in it. So correction on what I said in the past. As well, the only thing that is actually missing is the what is that? The skating minigame.
Oh yes, that is tied on Subsistence, isn't it?
It's on Substance but only the is it on the PS2 and the Xbox?
I think Xbox. I don't know. Good question. Yeah.
Or not at 360. Sorry, the Xbox. But yeah, there's a Kriss. There's a mini game where Konami had their own skating game to like compete with Tony Hawk.
Okay.
It was like Pro Evolution Skating or something like that.
Yeah.
So they had the engine, and Kojima was just like, "Fuck it, put it into the game." And it's literally Snake on a skateboard, skating through like the next part of the game. Like
that's amazing.
Yeah, shit that you haven't seen yet, but it's just like, that's and it's janky as hell because it's it's not Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk was like so well polished. And,
yeah, it's pretty janky. I do remember being excited, thinking like, hell yeah, Snake and Tony Hawk. No, it sucked.
No, yeah, it was Konami's own skating engine. But speaking of corrections, we actually have a correction from one of our listeners. Kriss, you might already know who. So it's not something major, but
okay.
I'm just glad somebody wrote in and told us that we were wrong on something. And I love it. This is from our homeboy Spy.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so I'm gonna read what he said verbatim so that you guys can attack him. Just kidding. So he says, so I was listening to the last episode, meaning episode 10, and around the hour and 30 mark, you guys talked a bit around the World War, and I wanted to correct /inform you. Point 1. While there were a few truces during Christmas, not every battlefield turned into a soccer field where they would share gifts. Some just stayed in their trenches, and some never made that deal and still fought on Christmas Day. A lot of soldiers had to be moved around because the ones who had made bonds with the enemy didn't want to keep fighting. So some of them stopped fighting, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then the second point is the Red Baron, a.k.a. Manfred von Richthofen, was a German pilot, not British, during World War One. He is considered the best pilot of that war, having won over 80 air combats. That's how I wrote it, air combats. Yeah, so as for the songs, I don't know if those were what Kriss was thinking of, but these two songs are about the truce and the Red Baron, and then he linked us to a little YouTube thing, so I'll put those in the notes as well.
Okay.
But yeah, apparently there is a Nazi on the pizza
box.
on the pizza box.
All right.
As soon as he said he was German, I was like, what? Are you telling me?
Well, he could have been in World War One. What? Let me see. It was he died in 1918, so pre-World War II.
Yeah, so that was World War One.
Yeah. So he's not Nazi technically.
But weren't the Germans still the bad guys?
No,
in
they
World War
were.
One.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, but they weren't Nazis at that time. I don't think because that was with Hitler.
Is there such a thing as
A bad guy in war? No, I know.
Yes. You know.
That's what I was saying last time. I was like, well, the bad guys lost and the good guys. Well, I can't say, because I can't ever call the Brits good guys, especially with with their long history of colonization and what other other shit they've done.
What were they called in World War One? Hold on, they were called something. The German, they called themselves something, didn't they? They weren't called Nazis, but fuck. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, because like propaganda hadn't been a thing yet. Like Hitler was barely getting into that kind of stuff in around the time that the Red Baron died, like you said. I think. Spy, correct us if we are incorrect.
Yeah. Well, if I remember correctly, it was because of World War One that Germany wasn't doing well, and that's how not Spittler. My God. Oh my gosh, that's
Spittler. Yes,
Spittlers are quitters. Anyway,
if there are any artists out there, please draw some fan art of Spittler. Adolf Spittler.
Hitler rose to power because of World War One, because Germany was doing so bad financially, and his whole thing was like, we're trying to unite the country, we're trying to unite ourselves and become stronger,
make Germany great again.
Yeah, exactly. So
Magaga. He was wearing Magaga hats and speaking in very loud voice and very charismatic, and he had very tiny hands, and that's just how he lied about everything he said, and he just, because he just wasn't a very good artist, and he was just really mad about it and just wanted to take it out on the entire world. Anyway, back to you, Ivana.
Ladies and gentlemen, noise one.
Shit, what was I gonna say?
Red Baron,
I was gonna say that I believe Spy because he is educated outside of the United States.
Yeah.
Which, believe it or not, is a lot more accurate than what we get taught here. I think it's not that we're taught incorrectly. I think a lot of things are just omitted.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about when Otacon has that long monologue and everything in the first game about, the Hiroshima bomb and all that stuff. Like I said, that's like the first time I ever really paid attention and understood what really happened. As a kid, when someone says like, oh yeah, we dropped 2 bombs on Japan, I'm like, whatever. I didn't think they were like bombs, like that devastated thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah.
Like that didn't calculate in my brain. I thought it was just like any other bomb, like a fucking... Sure, They threw some TNT, like
exactly,
they blew up a building. Oh, boo-hoo, a building. Like that's the same thing that happened in World War II. Not that that's boo-hoo, but
no.
It was just
the gratitude of it.
Yeah, it's just the way they teach us here. They're just like, war is a thing. We bomb people bomb us, which is not true. We never get bombed. We get plane attacked once every 100 years because no one dare attack us. But yeah, it's just I think it's just the way they teach it. They make us feel invincible, and that everything that happened to the rest of the world is not so important. Like you said, there's not much gravity to it in the way they say it. And it's unfortunate because all that shit should be heartfelt. You know what I mean? Like it took me until like maybe my late 20s to like really find empathy with just world events. You know what I mean? Like 9/11 for sure triggered something in me, but it took a while until I was like, damn, like this shit sucks, like in the worst way.
Yeah.
And I do have Metal Gear to thank for that because, those games, as we go further, they constantly build on that kind of shit. Every single main release is always like, and then this, and then this, but it doesn't.
Well, this triggered this, and secretly, yeah. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And very sometimes in your face, and other times very subliminal, as you will see in this game. This game does both in your face and subliminal messaging, and it's not going to be until we finish the game that we're going to be able to be like, did you catch any of that? Because I'm sure, Kriss, you're going to be like, what?
Well, I was going to say,
because that's how I was like, I don't understand anything.
I remember when I first played this game, and again watching Kriss play this game, I remembered, the beginning, the very intro that says, what is it? This is a game it's a game. It's fake. Everything is coincidence. And I remember when I first saw that message, back in 2000 whatever. I literally was like, oh, okay, sure, it's a game. But like I said, just the way things were rolling out, war, everything that was going on in the real world. You're like, is this shit really a game, or is this some kind of message from
Yeah.
Again, the Lolly, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just kind of made you feel like, is there, what WikiLeaks is now back. I was like, is this like someone leaking information? Because there's a lot of stuff that's kind of coinciding,
And yeah, me too. Like I was very influenced by like The Matrix, where I'm like questioning my reality and shit. And I remember when The Matrix came out, like my dad and I watched that movie at the theaters like 10 times. And then when we got the VHS of it, we were watching it like constantly, or anytime it came on TV, we were watching it. But yeah, we'd watch it, and the weirdest thing would happen on this TV that we had. It was a tube TV, and every single time the phone rang in the movie, remember the SAP button on your remotes that would change it to like Spanish or alternate language? There was a light on the TV that said SAP so that you knew when it was on. Every time the phone rang in that movie, that light would turn on and then turn off when it stopped ringing. And, this is 1999, 2000, and I'm, like 16 years old, being influenced by The Matrix, questioning my reality, and the TV's blinking at me every time the phone's ringing, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm tripping, dude. Like, this is freaking me out. So, yeah, just adding to like what you were saying with the similarities of what was happening with Metal Gear Solid 2 specifically, around the same time as, like, just after 9/11. We experienced the game right after 9/11, like just months after. And so, the world is in pro-war mode. Well, not the world. The U.S. is in war mode. And it's everyone's arguing with everybody, like, did this really happen? And
inside job. Again, all that conspiracy theories. And then you're playing this game, which in hindsight took how many years to make? Like 2-3 years to make. But it felt because it was, like said, released immediately after. You're like, something's going on. Like, what was that one old freaking
the guy who predicted
Nostradamus?
No.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
well, actually, there was a lot of Nostradamus. I'll be the first to admit now. There was a time period where I was like, dude, is he there like fucking predicting the future?
A prophet.
Is he prophet? Because I was like, he's calling a lot of shit that's very similar. No. What was that thing called? That conspiracy theory where the army had released that game that people were playing.
Polybius?
Yeah, exactly.
The NSA or the CIA. Yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, I was like, what if this is the government, though, like, fucking training us to fucking be soldiers, I was like, what the fuck is going on, like, it made you question a lot of stuff, I mean, especially being young. 2001, I was freaking freshman in high school, so. Yep.
Yeah, you're so impressionable at that time. Like, everything influences you. You just, and I don't think a lot of people really think about that until, like, later, where they're like, oh, Final Fantasy VII did make me think this way or something, like
okay no well, like this, I for sure, you and me, Luis, and Kriss too, we're the generation. I don't know how you guys feel necessarily, but fucking for me, yeah, smoking is goddamn cool, dude. It was impressed in me. Smoking is fucking cool. It's bad for you, but it's
Joe
goddamn
Camel.
Cool.
Yeah,
dude, don't get Joe Campbell, but I mean, Snake alone, every fucking game he's sneaking in cigarettes. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, there's plenty of times where I'm like, yeah, he's badass smoking cigarettes.
But there's an anti-smoking message in every single game.
There is, but he's still goddamn cool for smoking.
Yeah, I think in the first one, it's who scolds him. I know Naomi's like, what are those going to be used for? But someone scolds him for it, and then in the second one, Otacon. Immediately Otacon goes like, hey, smokes,
Yeah.
And then in Ghost Babble, he doesn't even have cigarettes. He's got a fucking
vape.
Yeah,
vape.
That's right.
But anyways, let's kind of continue with the game here. So I was pissed. I remember when I first played this the first time, and that intro on the bridge. By the way, blown away by the graphics, at the time. And he jumps off this bungee cord, and then he goes to instant stealth camo. And I was like, hell yeah, stealth camo. I'm thinking you're gonna have it right off the bat, right? And nope, it breaks. The shock from the bungee. I was like, fuck you, game. I was like, dude, you teased me with that. Get out of here.
It reminds me of like the Metroid games where you always start out with the full suit, the full power, and something happens and you lose everything. Gotta go find it now. Yeah.
I do like though that like Snake justifies it right off the bat. He just says that I wasn't planning on relying on this gadget anyways, which is just another way of him saying, I smoke cigarettes, like I'm a badass. Like I don't fucking need this shit.
Yeah.
Unless you're Kriss and you'll get caught by absolutely everybody.
But
if you're me.
But yeah, like I forgot how short this is. This checkpoint.
So, yeah, that's what I was gonna kind of mention earlier. Is like you experienced the tanker over and over and over because you didn't have a memory card, but I experienced the tanker over and over and over because I played the demo that came with Zone of the Enders, and the demo stops at
Olga, probably post Olga.
It stops at Olga. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah. You just get up to Olga and that's it.
Oh, really? Okay. You didn't get to fight her.
No, you fight her. Sorry,
okay,
yeah. You fight her and that's it. So yeah, it stopped. It's like you get that full cutscene at the end too, where the cipher comes and he's like cipher, and then it just cuts out. And at the end of the demo, you would get a rating, obviously, but you would also get a code that you could input into a website that it said. You'd input it into the website. You know, the internet's still super new. It's like 5 years old mainstream, right? It's existed some way before that, but for the mainstream, it was like 5 years old. And you would get a ranking back against the world, the region, and your country. So you could see how well you did against everybody else who submitted their code. And the top, I don't know if it was the top people in the world, would get their name inside the game. So I haven't actually researched this. I'll research it for maybe the last episode of this game. But yeah, those winners, I think it's for each difficulty of the game. So very easy, normal, hard, and extreme. Five players got their names in those difficulties as dog tags. Yeah. So some out there, I've picked up your dog tag a bunch of times, probably a million. But yeah, that was my experience. Is that tanker all the way up to Olga, like over and over and over, and I was speedrunning the ever-loving shit out of it. Like, but yeah, I don't think I ever even placed top 100, man. Like people were so good at it.
Not sure.
But yeah, you get your stealth camo destroyed right off the bat, which I was also mad about that too.
You know, and then you know the whole, what do you call it, Grukovic, the Russians guys come in and everything like that.
Tiny head.
Oh, Tiny Head, that ending section there, yeah. But Chris, as far as like gameplay is concerned, like you felt it much smoother than one, right? It's just so much more responsive.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, it's hard to really explain like until you play it multiple times, or until we continue. Like what we're saying, I think during your playthrough, is like the amount of detail. Like you can go into that pantry where I think you died in the pantry, and you can shoot the freaking the vegetables that are there. Yeah, you can shoot the bottles on the freaking the tables. I mean, everything. It was so interactive. You know?
I mean, watch just ice melt.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. You can see ice melt. You can shoot the flour. I heard. I guess you shot flour. You can shoot the flour bags.
Oh yeah, to expose the lasers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Just the fact to me was like one thing that blew me away, and I know it's so little, was the fact that you get that box in the pantry and it matches the other boxes in there. Like, I thought that was so cool.
And that does that. So I remember you asked in the first game, like, hey, does it matter where I use the box? You know, like, will I get noticed more? I think that's true, but I haven't really confirmed it in the first one. In this one, for sure, they'll be like, this box does not belong here. So be wary of where you use the boxes.
Okay.
In the next area, like you'll definitely have, I don't know how, I think there's like, I don't want to spoil, but there's more than 3.
Okay.
And for sure, use them where they match. Because I mean, if they're not alerted, they won't pay mind to you. But if they're searching for you actively, they'll immediately know that box does not belong here, because they'll be like, yo, what the fuck is that doing here?
Yeah, I noticed that because one time I went into the pantry and I was hiding in the box, and immediately they just started shooting. Like, they didn't even kick the box over or anything. They just started shooting. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because I remember you asked in your stream too about the wet box, and same thing. If you use it inside, they're like, huh? What the hell? So you have to use the box outside.
Okay.
Which by that point, I don't even think you go back outside, really.
Yeah, you know what? Unless there's something you can do with that outside, but I guess you're lost. I don't know.
No, I guess yeah, if you're lost. No, I guess it would be only if you have to go back and get those dog tags from the guys who resisted you at the begining.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
This is one thing I wanted to see Kriss do a lot, which I hope you do in the next parts of the game. Is I want to see you stick up people and shake them down, because it changes. It's like it makes you feel so. I mean, it makes me feel fucking superior, because I'm like, freeze, and then I'm like, I run around them and I'm pointing a gun right at their face, and some of them will give up the dog tag or the ammo or the ration right away. And others will be like, what are you? Are you going to shoot me? If you're going to shoot, then shoot me. And they have like, all these,
okay.
yeah, but you can't do it if you don't have a real gun. If you have the dart gun, they're not intimidated. They're like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
But if you shoot, so here's something I taught to our listener who we shall not name.
I already did.
Oh yeah, you did. Okay. He was saying in his stream, he's like, oh yeah, you can shoot them and then they'll give up the item. And I was like, you don't have to shoot them, right? And he was like, huh? And I was like, yeah, you could just like whiz by their head. You could just like whiz a bullet by their head and it'll freak them out. And he's like, oh shit, I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, you didn't have to like injure them. but I remember one of the funny things that you could do when you hold them up is you can injure them. You can like shoot them in the arm and then shoot them in the leg. Like I always pick like the opposite. So I'll be like the right hand and the left leg, and then I'll shoot out the radio.
Yeah.
And then I'll put my gun down because then they'll be like, oh, this guy, I can get away. And he like limps away and tries to like radio in, and his radio doesn't work. And so he like runs away until he can actually like go through a door.
Yeah.
But like he's just limping the entire time, and it cracks me the fuck up every time I do that. So as I'm telling that listener, like, you don't have to shoot them, I'm like over here like, check this out. You could absolutely torture them.
One thing I used to do, and I still feel kind of bad for doing it, was I don't know if you noticed this, Chris. I didn't do it on my playthrough, but on the deck, the main deck, whatever you want to call it, the beginning of the stage. They actually show in the cutscene them dumping the bodies of the soldiers through these little gates.
I told Chris to do it too.
Yeah.
Oh, did you do that?
Yeah, I told him to do it because he was. What did you do? You failed to dart him, so yeah. I think you were like punching him until he finally passed out.
Okay,
something like that. Yeah.
And then I was like, throw him overboard. And he was like, how did you know how to pick him up there, but you couldn't pick up Olga?
I picked up Olga.
Well, you were failing at it.
Yeah, you were failing. You're like, how do I pick her up? And we're like, unequip your weapon. But anyways, yeah, you like threw him off the side.
But yeah, I used to, I mean, it sounds a little sadistic maybe, but I used to think it was funny, but fucked up, that you would knock him out and then throw him into the goddamn ocean. You're like, oh yeah, that guy's dead, man. Like he's
they drowned.
Yeah, I mean, like he's gone. You're like, that's
like they woke up to drowning.
Well, if you're trained, you probably don't even wake up. You just die.
If they woke up to drowning, which is awful.
Yeah, exactly. I remember thinking like, I remember doing it a couple times. Like again, as a kid, I was like, dude, this is fucking awesome. And then I was like, this is fucked up, dude. Like, oh man, hell no.
Yeah. No,
I know they're enemy soldiers, but
no, actually, instead of throwing the soldiers off, I ended up drowning myself. I fell off.
Oh yeah,
because I opened the gate and I was like, wait, what? What is this? And then he like drops down and does this like pull up thing. And I didn't know how to get back up, so I'm just pressing buttons and moving the joystick around, and I must have pressed down or something, and it just let go, and yeah, I just died. I was like, oh, okay, that's how that works.
Oh, hell.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you? So the after that is it aft deck? Whatever, the one in the back, right? That's because that's where you start.
Yeah.
There's that hallway, like that U-shaped hallway. So that did you? I don't know if people were telling you to like make a lot of codec calls, but you can go in a locker and you can call Otacon, and they talk about how they first met because Otacon was the one in the locker, and Snake goes like, yeah, but I at least I didn't pee my pants. And fucking Otacon's like, hey, Snake, that's a low blow. But also, that's where you see one of the first girly posters.
That's where I saw my first poster. Yeah, was in that locker.
So if you, I don't know if you should know this, German, right? But you didn't show it on stream. This Easter egg.
Which one? Yeah, I might have. Which one?
So if you look at the poster and call Otacon, Snake masturbates to the poster.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think I showed it. But yeah, I know of it.
Yeah, and Otacon goes like, "Hey, you don't have enough things to like do or whatever." It's just like try to keep your head on the mission or something like that. But like, yeah, you just see like Snake with his mouth open, just like mouth breathing, like it's just like, oh my god, like how did they? I thought they took that out in like the the HD collection, but
I thought they would have too.
I got it to trigger. Yeah, I got it to trigger.
There.
Speaking of which, since you played the Master Edition and Chris played the PS3 HD version, I played the... What did I say I played? Oh, I played the PC GOG version.
Yeah.
With the third-person camera. Mm-hmm. And it is so goddamn weird because, like, when you try to press up against walls, it's really dependent on where your camera is, right? And when you guys are playing, how you guys are playing normal, you just press left or right, or up or down. And for me, I had to, like, if I'm 15 degrees off, I have to push myself the opposite degrees to get onto that wall. And it was just like, that was like the hardest part. And yeah, it's going to be a real challenge to do that in the next the next part of the game, because it's a whole different environment, and it's just like, oh my fucking god, there's so many weird angles in the next area.
Yeah. So another point I wanted to bring up this talk, and I know the one who shall not be named kind of gave me a hard time about this, and I went back and checked, and sure enough, he was correct, and that it took me longer to get through that hallway. Not the part with the enemies, where it's like the forced encounter, but before that, it took me longer to get through that than it did to fight Olga.
Oh, yeah. So right after the lasers.
Lurking around there, yeah. And I remember you were there for a minute. I think.
Yeah, 33 minutes, actually.
Oh, my God.
27 to beat Olga. And 33 minutes in the hallway.
I was lurking, so I don't know. Were you kept getting caught by the guy that's sleeping? I mean, I know
I was being caught by a lot of people.
So, okay, so the hallway he's talking about is the one right before the forced battle.
The guy that comes at you. There's the guy listening to music.
Yeah.
And there's the guy that's falling asleep, but he wakes up periodically.
Yeah. Sorry, no, I was saying for the listeners because we're jumping ahead.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. So there's the first guy who, in German in your stream, you were trying to trigger him because there's like a little, it's not an Easter egg, but it's like
a little cutscene.
It's a little scripted way.
Yeah, script. There you go.
Yeah. So if you bolt to the right before he sees you, there's a little spot where you can press up against the wall, and there's like a pipe right next to you. And if you use the game mechanics, Chris, and you lean over to see, to move the camera a little bit more, that pipe falls over. Like, it's not attached to the ship, like it falls. Okay. And it makes a sound, and the soldier goes like, huh, what was that? And he like starts trying to like investigate. And as long as you don't move, the rest of the scene will play out. And then the other guy, who I've figured out who actually that other guy is, because I was always like, where did this guy come from? Like, did he just spawn in? It's the guy that's periodically sleeping.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he comes over here and he jump scares the guy whose attention you caught. And he's like, oh, don't sneak up on me like that. And then the other guy leaves, and then he goes like, oh, it was just my imagination. And then he keeps walking. But it's just like a little scripted thing that you could totally miss, which Chris totally did because he was just trying to brute force his way down that hallway. So there's that. And then there's a dude listening on the earbuds, like German said. And that guy's insanely easy to sneak up on. And somehow Chris kept getting caught by that dude. And then after that guy is the sleeping dude, which the reason I know that's the sleeping dude is because I managed to trigger the cutscene and then trank both of them.
So he's not there.
Yeah, so I tranked both of them, got their dog tags, and I was like, whoa, wait, how did I get his dog tag? Like, this isn't an extra dude. Got the earbuds guy, and then the other guy was missing, like you said. I was like, oh shit, like, so he's not there. They like spawn him, like or they teleport him from where he's at just for that little cutscene. If you
trigger that little cutscene, yeah.
Yeah, and then he walks away.
And probably goes back.
Yeah, because I tranked that dude super fast, and then I ran as fast as possible to trank the other guy as he's like going around the corner. I was like, I got him. But yeah, that did take Chris fucking longer than it should have.
Yeah.
Like, so start using the mechanics, Chris. It'll make the game a lot easier.
Okay.
The firefight, I think the firefight went pretty smooth, right, for Chris?
I did a couple times, I think, but yeah.
That was definitely shorter than
than just that hallway.
Yeah,
it was shorter than Olga, for sure. Like he got to that firefight pretty quick. I mean, because you can just fucking spray and pray,
which is pretty much what I did.
Yeah.
And then you failed a couple times at the tanker. Oh, I was lurking, but he kept freaking getting caught in the second hold. And you were like, where do I go? What do I do? Where do I go? What do I do? And you just had to fucking turn right, and go behind like the crates or some shit like that.
Yeah, because I saw that door, and I thought I had to go up around to the left to get there. I don't know why, but for some reason I looked at that map and I was like, no, I have to go around to the left. And those guys were there, and I'm like, how am I supposed to get over there? So then I was like, maybe I have to go across the whole thing and like go in front of everyone. And I was like, okay, well, I know like their cone of vision isn't like it the cone goes a little farther than what they can actually see, right? So I was like, that must be it. Like I have to crawl across just outside of the cone of vision. Yeah. But then when I did that, I would touch that one guy that's like right up there in front.
Yeah.
And then they would all notice me, and it was just like, what am I doing wrong?
I know I was lurking, but I know I kept hearing like you getting caught, and I was like, why is he getting caught? What the fuck is going on? And I finally like look over, and you're like, I don't know what to do or whatever. And then like someone said, go right or something like that. And you're like,
well, I was like, you see that door, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, go to it. And like, I guess me just saying that, he finally like went right.
That's literally when I joined in.
And he was like, oh my God. And I was like,
I could have sworn that area is blocked off. I thought I had tried that before. I must have like tried something before that and it wasn't working or something.
Sure.
And then I finally went like further forward and it worked. And I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's literally when I came in, because I'm like, all right, I finally had time. I don't remember what I was doing, but I was lurking, and I finally was like, all right, I picked up my phone to watch. And then that's when you write the noise. You were like, see that door? You're like, go to it.
Yeah. I just said go to it, because I was just like, I don't want to tell him exactly how to get there because it's so obvious. I was just like, just go, dude. Like, I was just like, I think my wife Jessie was like hearing me scream at you, because I was like, this is insane that he's been in this room for so long.
Dude, you were there for a minute. Was that pre or post me telling you about the projector?
That was after.
Because that was Chris's last try. He was like, last try and I gotta go, and I was like, you have to beat this, because this is like, this is the end.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to tell him that was the end.
Yeah.
But Kriss, what if I told you there are 3 ways to get through those holds?
Yeah. No, I watched your gameplay.
Oh,
I remember I was watching German streaming too, and I was busy. I was playing something else at the time, but I would like glance over, and I saw he was crawling, and I was like, how did he get there? Like, where is that? How did I miss that? And then I remember I was watching your stream, and you're like, hey, look at this, Kriss. Did you notice this? And it was one of those trap doors. And I remember looking at that during the stream, and I didn't say anything, and I should have. And I remember looking at that and like, that looks off. That looks like something I could use. And then I just moved on to something else like I do. That's just what I do, you know. I'll notice something, it clicks, and then, nope, I'm going to do it this way instead, you know. And I didn't pay attention to it, and I didn't check it, and I didn't try the action button or anything.
You didn't try the buttons.
Yeah, I didn't press the buttons, And sure enough, I could have made it a lot easier for myself and my viewers.
You can get caught, though, because there's a part where one of the soldiers drops like a magazine clip, and he looks down, and if you happen to be crossing him right at that moment, everyone will get triggered.
Now, I think I've never gotten caught by that one, because I
always stop.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I was mentioning on my playthrough is that I think when the commander does his like, oh, let's stretch left, right, down, because he says down. Obviously, when he says shoot to the left and shoot to the right, he never says shoot it down below or nothing like that, right? But that's the only time he says, down. Yeah, and I remember just thinking like, why would you fucking? And then when I found the crawl space, I was like, oh, if you're fucking down here and I want to prove it, you get caught down there.
So he also says up.
Yeah. So
there's they're kind of hard to see, but there are wires
you can go across from.
Yeah, there's one in the engine room, which lets you like bypass pretty much the whole engine room.
Yeah.
But then there's also like, I think like 2 per hold, maybe 1 or 2. But I think you need grip level 3 for those.
I think so too.
And yeah, so like if he's telling them to do the neck stretches, he'll say up, and if you just happen to be fucking because you can like cross them right above them, and they'll just be like, they'll fucking catch you. But that's the third way to get through the holds, is you need at least grip level 2 to get one of the dog tags on the upstairs, and then you can cross the entire thing and bypass those rooms.
Okay.
But you need to do 100 pull-ups or 10 drop downs.
Which we'll still figure out which one's faster, Noise. I don't know.
It's the drop downs, dude.
No, I know that, but I meant like in
the location
or the engine room.
I think the holds is faster because I think you're right, because I was doing them in the engine room just for safety reasons, because it obviously if I fall, then I'm wasting more time. And for me, the guarantee is the safety run. Like if I was doing like a real speed run, I'd do it in the hold.
Well, if you're doing a real speed run, you probably wouldn't even need to max out your grip anyways. But
yeah, unless someone's doing like 100%.
100% safe. Yeah, you need it then for that. Which man, I remember like Chris said when he first saw that, hanging, and he never tried it. I remember I discovered it my first playthrough by complete accident because I was like, dude, I love this game, so cool. And I'm pressing up against the ship, the bows of the ship or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And again, I push buttons, Chris, unlike you, and I'm pushing all the buttons, and all of a sudden he jumps over. I'm like, what the fuck? This is awesome. And then next thing I never saw a trailer. And I'm like, dude, this is fucking sick. I remember how, I probably died because I probably pushed X and fucking fell.
Yeah.
And and I was, how do I get back up? And I was like, oh, okay, action button again. And then there's on the bow of the ship you can't really shimmy left or right, but then I was trying on the rails, and you can go left and right and stuff. Like, all right, cool. And like I noticed level 1. I said, dude, you can get this stronger. How? And I remember when I first found out. I remember I just sat there and I was like, pull-ups, again, the detail in this fucking game. I was like, pull-ups. I'm like, all right, and I fucking kept doing them forever. And I remember I was with my cousin, and he was like, I don't think it does anything, bro. And all of a sudden, you level up, and you get that phone call. I'm like, oh, shit, I leveled up. Especially because, again, I'd seen the holds. I'd seen those wires. I'd seen areas. I'm like, why can't I get there,
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need to be able to get there. And that's when I was like, no, there's a way to level these up, bro. I just don't know how yet. And then the game doesn't tell you, but that's sure enough, that's how you level your grip up, which is pretty cool, I think.
I didn't even notice that it said level 1.
Oh.
I don't know what I thought it said, but yeah, I just one day started doing pull-ups because I was bored and I didn't know what else to do. And I was just doing pull-ups and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I just did them off like a really safe area where, just in case I fell. I think it was definitely outside in the bow where I was just like going up the stairs. Just go up the stairs, hang off the side, do a bunch of pull-ups. If I fell, go up the stairs again. And yeah, all of a sudden I got this phone call and I was like, the heck is what? And I was like, what, my level? And I'm like, oh, I was like, what do I need this for? Like nothing in my brain was like, what do I need this for? I obviously hadn't found the dog tags yet, and I don't think I had noticed the wires yet either. But yeah, then I was like, okay, this makes it last longer, I guess. And also apparently how much health you have influences how fast your grip goes down as well.
Oh shit, okay.
So you want like as much health as possible, because I've definitely had a level 2 grip and I've had like a sliver of health and it's going down just as much as like a level 1, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm not gonna make it. Yeah.
Speaking of health, I thought it was hella funny how Chris didn't notice he was bleeding.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was the funniest thing. And actually I kind of forgot there was bleed in this game until I saw the different colored health bar. I was like, oh shit, that's right, you bleed. And then he's fighting Olga, and he's like, you didn't notice it, and there's like a giant pool of blood under you.
Well, that was the thing though, is I noticed a pool of blood. I figured it was like, oh, she's shooting me.
Yeah.
Of course, there's going to be blood under me. I didn't notice that color change in the thing as well. Yeah.
Well, and they actually trail. Actually, guards can follow the
blood trail.
Blood. They can follow you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Drops of blood, wet footsteps. The footsteps aren't exactly new. Like, it's your footsteps in the snow for the first one.
Yeah,
but
they're wet.
Yeah.
Your wet footprints, they only last like a handful of feet, if you will.
They're pretty quick. They disappear pretty quickly.
Yeah. But if you come in immediately from the outside, your feet, you will leave footprints. So that was always fun to do.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyways, I thought it was hella funny. You didn't notice the blood, and then the Olga fight.
Oh, and I was like, Chris, what do you do when you bleed?
In another game.
And I didn't even say in another game. I just said, what do you do when you bleed?
Yeah.
And your sister was like, Astera jerky.
Yeah.
And then I think that's what gave you the clue, is that she said Astera jerky.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh, crouch? And then you did, and then your health started going back up, and you're like,
oh.
Well, I want to say it was one of those things where you had said that, and then she said that before I was able to read chat.
Oh, okay.
And as soon as you said that, I knew, like, oh, Monster Hunter, you crouch.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of jerky at all, actually. I didn't even think of that. It's just like crouch, yeah.
And that was me just trying to figure out a way to tell you, because I was like, how do I tell him to crouch when bleeding? And then like I was like, oh yeah, Monster Hunter, you could totally do that in Monster Hunter. So like I had to make, otherwise if we didn't play Monster Hunter, I would be like, just crouch, Chris.
Yeah. Press this button.
There's a chance. I don't remember, but I'm sure Otacon must tell you, right? He must be like, yo, Snake, you're bleeding. Fucking.
Yeah, if you call, probably.
Yeah.
Like, there's always context codec calls, like, depending on what you're doing, what you're holding, where you are.
I definitely didn't call him as many times as I did, my first playthroughs. But I'm pretty sure that's how you get that info. It's just, he tells you to fucking crouch.
Yeah, you pick up medicine, and they'll be like, hey, this is if you catch a cold or something.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I forgot to do before we started recording was I forgot to call Otacon and save as much as possible because he goes through a bunch of like philosophical quotes.
Bullshit.
Yeah, the same way Mei Ling does. And it gets to a point to where like he messes every single one up, but he's messing them up so bad that Mei Ling interjects. Like she comes in and goes like, what are you doing? Like, what happened to all the notes I gave you? I mean, and I guess, Otacon had lost the notes or something, and he was just picking quotes from like wherever. Yeah. It's like the first one that he does is like one for all for one, and it's just like the Three Musketeers. Like, where the fuck did this quote come from? But yeah, Mei Ling will make a cameo and will fucking be like,
just her voice, right? She's
just her
fuzzy,
voice. Yeah. It's just static.
I remember when I first played this game. Well, when I first beat it, and you're looking at the credits, and it said Mei Ling, and I was like, "What? Where?" and I mean, then obviously the hunt for the Easter eggs. After you beat the first time, you're trying to beat it faster and get all the dog tags and the works. And I was like, "Where the fuck is Mei Ling?" I'm trying to figure out. And then
I thought it was like another photo shoot, like VR missions.
Yeah, I just didn't know. And then I, like you said, I was just chilling on the tanker, just bored, just trying to figure out what the fuck to do. And I happened to call Otacon over and over, and that's when I was like, and then it hit me. I said, he brings her up. He's giving me advice like Mei Ling. It's got to be him, And sure enough, when I got that, I was like, there she is. And I was sad it was just that one time, I wanted more of her.
Yeah, Mei Ling is bae.
So
yeah, he gets through the holds finally, and it's that crazy long cutscene. And Kriss still messed up with the pictures because, like you said earlier, he was just fucking overwriting the old pictures. Because he just started taking pictures, and I was like, you're overwriting your old pictures, right? And he was just like, no.
Well, you're like, how many pictures? I'm like, I don't know, like 2 or 3. And you're like, click, 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 click. I'm like, all right, that's only 2 or 3, but you're like,
yeah, because I think the max you can hold is 6. Because
I think so,
which kind of sucks.
There's a 4, or maybe max is 5 because
that's just like it's like 5 or 6 for sure. Yeah,
because you can take the 4 necessary ones that you need,
and then 2 goof ones, I think.
Oh, okay. So then it is.
I think it's about 6. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess we should talk about story here. So you're Snake Plissken from Escape from New York. Just kidding. You're sent in to rescue the president because New York is a prison state now. Actually, just the island of Manhattan. But yeah, you and Otacon have teamed up after Shadow Moses, and you formed a group called Philanthropy, where you go in and you pretty much foil any private organization or government who is trying to develop their own Metal Gear. Like you sneak in, you take pictures, and you WikiLeaks them pretty much.
Yeah. Honestly.
Dude, why is this game so relevant? Anyways.
That's what I'm telling you, man. It just fucking...
It predicted the future. Oh, that's what I was going to say when you were talking about predicting the future is even his own staff, like Yoji Shinkawa, in interviews have said that he has like a prophet-like quality where a lot of the games that they make somehow predict the future or like resonate with what's going on at the times. Mm-hmm. This was in an interview when they're talking about Death Stranding because they're talking about how like Death Stranding was a COVID game before COVID happened.
Dude,
right?
I know. Lockdown.
Because it came out in 2019, and Death Stranding is all about how the U.S. they all became locked down and nobody trusted each other and everyone kept their distance from each other and it was a lonely experience. And
DoorDash went through the roof.
And you're trying to reunite the U.S. and you're trying to make connections. This Strand game that whatever the fuck Kojima's calling, which is bullshit because Dark Souls did it first. But yeah, you trying to connect with people and stuff like that. But yeah, the way Yoji Shinkawa put it was like, this isn't the first time Kojima's, kind of, not, I mean, Kojima's really well educated and he's well read also.
Yeah.
Some things that happen in this game are actually predicted in some literature that I will bring up afterwards. Okay. Because it's going to be after we beat the game. But a lot of people give Kojima credit for like, he predicted this and predicted, he predicted the entire 2000s and 2010s and everything. And this other piece of literature actually did it like 20 or so years before, which is fine because Kojima's taken influence from things that he knows. So
yeah.
But it's great that that he kind of brings light to these kind of things. I just wish he kind of like gave credit to that he read, because I mean he always gives credit to like, oh yeah, Kurt Russell and Snake Plissken in Escape from LA, like that was a major influence, blah 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 blah. Anyways, that was the whole prophecy thing that I forgot to say earlier. But yeah, what the hell were we talking about?
So your philanthropy, part of philanthropy.
Oh yes. Oh, which I want to know, like, who else is in this group?
Yeah.
Right? Because like, is Mei Ling part of it? Because how did she patch into the Codec call?
I would think Mei Ling's part of it. I'm assuming maybe what's her name, Natasha would be also against Metal Gears and would have joined in one way or another financially or just
Yeah, and this is what I think when we were talking about what the movie should be. I think that's what the movie should be. I think it should be Snake and Otacon being philanthropy, toppling organizations with their own Metal Gears, because then you can kind of have multiple Metal Gears, and then maybe like he fights one at the end.
Okay, that'd be cool. Actually, that's cool.
I would like that to be the movie, or I would like that to be a game. Like, just multiple Metal Gears over and over and over, like in different places and shit like that. But I always was like, I really want this to exist in some way.
Well, isn't that like Zone of Enders then? Just fighting multiple mechs.
But you're a mech. You're in a mech.
Yeah.
You're in the mech's pee-pee also. That's where the cockpit is. Yeah.
Is it? I remember playing it. I just don't remember much of it.
For some reason, it's the cockpit. The little mech has a freaking little wee-wee. But yeah, so your entire mission is to get onto this tanker, which, by the way, is occupied by U.S. Marines. Snake is like, oh, they just looks like civilians, and it's like, well, yeah, because they're not trying to draw attention to this boat that no one can fucking see. By the way,
right?
It's night, and the weather is insane. It's raining so hard that they could have had fucking Hawaiian shirts on there. No one would have fucking noticed them, dude.
Again, how many choppers fucking flew right up to the tanker and dropped off soldiers?
And they didn't even notice it.
Yeah, no one fucking knew. On the ship. So you're telling people from the damn shoreline would have seen, what they were wearing?
Like, holy shit. Yeah, so Otacon tells them, like, you're just here to take pictures, like, don't kill anyone. These are U.S. Soldiers,
Yeah.
Which tells me, upstanding Marines, which tells me that Snake does side with the U.S. government, because there is a point where he does say that he's not really, he doesn't have like a government, you know what I mean? I forget when he says that.
I remember what you're talking about, but I don't remember exactly what it says,
Yeah, so, but he's still, pro-U.S. So, he's looking through his scope and whatever, but then we get a little glimpse of two choppers coming in, which are not Hind D's, Kriss. Hind D does not make a return.
They're Hind E's.
No, no, they're not Hind D's. No, these are KS-60 Kasatkas. No, KA-60 Kasatkas, sorry.
Yeah.
I guess they're also called killer whales. Anyone out there in the military, can you guys confirm this? I'm sure it's true, because Kojima, what a military buff also. Like, he just, his knowledge of the military is bonkers, and he surrounds himself with a lot of consultants.
Yeah, he always had consultants.
Yeah, to add to that, he got a lot of military consultants for this one, especially for the movement of the soldiers. Because I don't know if you noticed, Kriss, while you were being attacked and sought after, but the soldiers, they go in a line. One of them usually is facing in reverse to watch their backs, and like they'll tap each other in the shoulder, to be like clear, and all this stuff, and that's why I kind of like playing with the Type 1 camera, because if you're crawling, usually the camera or the radar goes away, but if you have the Type 1 radar, it'll actually show you little camera angles of how they're being soldiers and slowly stalking and looking for you, which is really cool. So I think you can change that later on. After in the next section, you can change the type of camera. So if you want to see that, it's pretty cool. I don't know what type camera you picked at the beginning, because you could have Type 1, Type 2, and off.
I think I did Type 2.
I think so too.
That's like the normal one.
Yes, normal. Okay.
As soon as they catch you, it goes off and whatever.
Yeah.
So these choppers show up, and it's a bunch of Russian soldiers, and they just start fucking slitting throats, dude. Like a bunch of pirates. They just start like literal cutthroats.
Yeah.
And then we see a tiny head who turns out to be Sergei Gerlukovich. We don't find out who it is until a little bit later, but that turns out to be Colonel Sergei Gerlukovich, who was working with Ocelot in the first game. We find out at the end of the game. We also catch some glimpses of Ocelot on the chopper saying some really suspicious shit, like, you know, like he knows Snake's there. So everything feels like a setup. So the player kind of knows from the beginning, like, this is a setup. And honestly, I forgot by the time Ocelot does all the shit that he does later, that I was like, oh yeah, he fucking knew I was here. Like, God damn it. But yeah, that's most of the story to that point. And then more of the story gets revealed once you get to Olga, and you know, they're checking out the coordinates, like where are they going? Do you remember where they're going, German? Like they kind of say.
They say, but just outside the Bermuda Triangle, I think, and then Otacon.
Oh, yeah.
They're ready for testing. It's pretty much ready. I don't know. Like, I don't know how he deciphers that based on where they're going, but
yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's somewhere outside the Bermuda Triangle. Oh, that's where he confirms that it is a Kasatka type of chopper. And then a sound distracts Snake. He hears off to the side, and I don't know if you noticed. I didn't ever try before, but before you go outside, you could actually look out the window and you can see Olga.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can open the door and you run into Olga, and it turns into The Matrix 1999, where she has like this really cool fucking knife, which Snake calls a scout knife, right?
No,
scout knife with
she's
a surprise.
Spetsnaz. Well, I don't know what he calls it, but anyways, can I touch on this real quick?
Yeah.
I've been waiting to say this for the longest time. So I remember when I saw that, and I was like, dude, that's the fucking coolest knife ever. You know, hit a fucking. I'm sure it's a single shot only. You know.
Yep.
But I started like, you know, looking into it, and you know, I mean, this was like 2-3 years later, and I was like, dude, and I remember there's a show called Ultimate Warrior. I don't freaking remember what it was called, but they would pin like two historical warriors against each other, you know, to see who would win. I don't know if you guys ever saw it on History or Discovery, one of those channels. And on one episode, they had the Spetsnaz versus I think it was the Green Berets. And for every episode they did, like, let's pretend if it was like the samurai versus the Aztec warriors or something like that, they would have experts in both those historical figures and characters and whatever. And they would be like, oh no man, the samurai sword would totally penetrate your armor, and the guy was like, nope, the Aztecs obsidian sword would completely melt your armor, you know, whatever, right?
For
that episode, they literally had like a Spetsnaz. I don't know if he was ex-Spetsnaz or, you know, you could tell he was a military guy, and they had a green, but they were never, they filmed separately because they didn't want to, you know, they don't want to fucking, you know, provoke them in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. But anyways, one of the knives they had is the ballistic knife. And I remember I saw that and I was like, oh my God, that thing is fucking real. I fucking want one. I really wanted one, you know? And I'm so glad that me being afraid to like poke around the internet, because if I could have found one, I probably would have killed myself. Because that thing is goddamn dangerous, man. That thing is is no joke. The amount of force it has via the spring or whatever. Yeah, they use it on a ballistic test dummy, a skull, you know, with the jelly. It kills. Let's just put it that way. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, yeah, no, good thing I never found one. Because I remember I was like, at the time I was eBay, you know, I was kind of getting big into buying stuff on eBay because you could buy almost anything on there. You know, at least stuff you couldn't find in regular stores, obviously.
Yeah.
And I remember I was looking up knives, you know, before I saw that episode, and I just remember saying like, oh, I wonder if they have like the Spetsnaz knife, you know. And I think I remember seeing something like, oh, be careful what you buy because it might not be legal in your state and blah blah blah. And
that's what I was gonna say. I don't think that should be
legal. And that's why I was like, I better not fuck with it again. I'm glad that's what stopped me from buying it, because I probably would have killed myself. But anyways, yeah, I always love that little trick shot, which is dumb though, because he goes, throw your knife overboard, and then, you know, he goes, throw your knife, and she's gonna put it down. He goes, no, overboard, right?
Yeah.
And then he just kind of stops, doesn't let her throw it away, and he goes, turn around. Like, dude,
hold that position, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, throw the knife. You forgot that part, you know. I remember calling that out, and then she does her little twirl and shoots at him, and I was like, oh man, that knife is so cool. But continue, you were saying, Luis.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm glad you did that that research because it's cool to know that such a strange weapon existed, and that I guess his military consultant, Kojima's military consultant, must have been like, this would be sick as fuck in Metal Gear because it's like it fits the world and the aesthetic of like really weird technology, just like a one shot knife, and yeah, like how you were saying, like you would have accidentally shot yourself or some shit. Like, how do you even fucking hold that thing like safely?
Well, like I said, well, again, I'm sure there's an actual design with a fucking bullet, but the original stuff, not a ballistic knife, it's just a blade.
Okay.
That's underneath a big spring, and yeah, it shoots. I don't remember, but again, it's not supposed to be a surprise weapon, and it does surprise it because it can kill if someone doesn't think it fucking shoots.
Surprise, you're dead.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because, already a knife by itself is, like, dangerous and you're supposed to hold it correctly and everything. And same thing with a gun. And this thing is too. Like, how do you hold this? You can't hold it straight up because now you're, like, pointing the barrel, like, at your knee or something.
Oh, yeah.
And if you hold it the other way, pointing at someone to shoot them, you're pointing the blade at yourself. Like, how do you hold this thing?
During the Cold War, if I remember right, wasn't there like a shitload of like crazy stuff that was invented, like the umbrella gun and a freaking shoe gun. Just they were the CIA and the freaking USSR were just going back and forth with all kinds of shit.
Yeah, I mean that's where like I think that's why it fits this world because it's like the James Bond of it all, where they're creating like the craziest gadgets and whatever, and that's what Metal Gear is too. It's like here's all these crazy gadgets that don't exist in the real world, but some of them apparently do.
Yeah.
And people have been like forever chasing the optic camouflage because, and people have succeeded to a degree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think it was actually a couple of weeks ago somebody made a sheet.
Yeah. Oh,
that does it like the cloak, right?
I've seen it. Yep.
And it only works if you tilt it a certain way. So like if you have it normal, it looks like a whatever sheet, and then if you rotate it 90 degrees, then whatever's immediately in front of it becomes invisible and it displays what's behind it. Which was nuts. I literally just saw that a couple of weeks ago. I was like, whoa, my God, dude, optic camouflage is coming.
You know what? I know, right? You know what? That reminds me of maybe one of the reasons why I was also so like, what the fuck is going on with Metal Gear? Because during that time frame, early 2000s, I was watching a shitload of History Channel, Discovery Channel, and Military Channel. And stuff that was in the game, was coming out like, oh, the military is developing this thing. I was like, what the fuck? Like the railgun? Like, they're real. They're fucking real. They're not practical in any way, shape, or form, but they're fucking real, Yeah,
they shoot bullets with magnets.
Yeah.
There's no resistance. It's fucking scary.
A bunch of other stuff. Obviously the Cypher, we kind of glazed over that, but I remember seeing that, and like you said, that's what
drones.
They thought drones. I mean, and again, I always like to remember this. Whatever we get tomorrow, whatever new technology we get tomorrow, the military's had it for fucking 10 years already.
Oh yeah,
they've already exploited the hell out of it, and they're done with it.
Most of our technology as civilians is ex-military technology. You think of GPS?
It's hand-me-down, 100%.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Drones. It's all ex-military technology.
Well, we've kind of entered a time where it's now become the opposite because the military asks for so much aid from like Apple and Google. Like, hey, put back doors in your shit and we need this kind of technology and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, nah, bro, like you're shit out of luck. Like, we're not going to fucking compromise our customers for your fucking back door. So it's kind of, as far as like micro technology, the military is behind. Like it seems to be like, as far as like radar technology and all that other shit and weaponry. Yeah, that's all hand-me-downs of whatever other stuff, but yeah, it's definitely turned around in the last decade, I think. But it was, the internet, things like that, for sure were like, oh yeah, we were using this shit way before you guys even fucking heard of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, she tells you, the rain starts to stop. Starts to stop? Is that a sentence? The rain stops, and she says, not too shabby. New York, I mean. And then that's when she does her little twirly thing, shoots at you, and if you look at it now, the reaction time of Snake, he's fucking lucky he didn't get shot in the head because it was like, he was barely like already out of the way.
But and then he still recomposes enough to shoot the knife in midair.
He shoots the knife in midair.
as it's falling.
Does he shoot it?
Yeah, he shoots it with his trank gun. Like, she turns around, does her little twirl, shoots it, drops it, and then, like, goes to hide or some shit. And, he dodges the bullet, and then he comes right back, and he shoots right where she was holding it, and is able to dink it out of the air, in midair. You don't remember that?
No, dude, that does not happen.
I don't remember that either.
Dude! Okay, YouTube.
Watch it right now.
I'm popping it.
Watch it right now. That does not happen. Because what I remember always happens, which bothers me, is that the knife hits the floor, and it doesn't, like, rotate correctly. It just kind of, like, hits the floor and bounces straight up again, which always bothered me. Like, it doesn't have any physics to it. But he does recompose himself to aim at her, but she's already fucking ran. And then they have the conversation about how...
Okay, let me see. Keep going.
But then they have the conversation about how, like, I never miss... Yeah, Olga
You're
says,
the
like,
first one to dodge it or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. And Snake's like, are you a Spetsnaz? Whatever, blah, blah. And then you get into the fight. And if you paid attention to the beginning of the game where Otacon explains to you your controls, you will use R1 and you can get some headshots pretty easy.
And if you're Kriss, you don't.
Yeah. Which, when I was getting the dog tags on very easy and easy, I used your strat of not using the scope or not using first person.
Mm-hmm.
And it went quite well. So I think if you would have played on very easy or easy, you would have been able to take on Olga fairly quickly. Because, I was like, I wonder if this works. Because you lock on, just like the old game.
I remember watching Kriss do that, and I was like, I don't think I ever did that. I just went to first person.
Yeah, me too. And so we kind of learned something from Kriss where it's just like, you can totally legit do it if you want. Yeah, I guess it's kind of the same thing with Ocelot. The way your strategy was working, German, where you would, like, look at him, and then you would, like, duck down and then get back up and then shoot him. Right? Is that what you said you were doing?
Yeah, he shoots, and then the second that he shoots, it's already said it's going to go to your head, so just duck.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that strat is the first person strat for Olga, but otherwise you could totally just lock on and shoot her if she's in the open. But yeah, there's a couple cool scripted things that happen. The tarp that's on top of whatever is underneath that, like, I don't even know what it is, but there's a tarp there.
Yeah.
And she will shoot the back ropes, and then it starts kind of fucking flailing about, and she'll hide behind that, which is pretty dope because it's just like, whoa, cloth sim, but it's just an animation that was recorded before, but it looks like it's happening in real time, and it's like, whoa, that's amazing. And so the trick is obviously to shoot one of the front ropes, and that will cause the tarp to fly away. And then she goes for the light. And she is kind of like Ocelot, if you think about it, because she knows exactly how to shoot the side of the light to point it right at your eyes.
Yep.
So she's got that Ocelot, what's it called? That Ocelot
ricochet
accuracy.
Yeah. Well, that's what Captain America has, too, with the shield, right? That's how he can, he's a master of
I will quote...
geometry.
True.
I will quote Peter Parker and say that that shield does not
obey the laws of
physics. Yeah. And definitely some geometry and trigonometry going on with that. Okay, let me watch this video that German just sent
hopefully
us.
And I couldn't make it bigger, so that I literally just got the part where
it hits the ground.
It didn't hit the ground, Luis. It doesn't hit the ground. It's in midair.
It taps the ground.
No.
Where's the muzzle flash? He doesn't shoot it.
He shoots it, bro.
That is not a shot, Kriss.
That's not a shot,
dude.
There's no shot.
There's no
but remember,
shot.
he's a trank shot. He doesn't. It's not a real gun.
But there's not even like a little poof.
Hold on. No, you know what? Okay, hold on. I'm watching it again. Hold on.
Look how low it is to the ground.
No, it shoots because to me, he shot it in there because it even goes ka-ching. I don't know.
Yeah, because it hits the ground.
No, let us know, you guys. He shot it. He fucking shot it. A Snake shot first.
Whose team are you on?
Snake
Team
shot
Noise or
first.
Team German?
Greedo. So yeah, if you guys listening can watch it, if German's right, it would explain why it behaves weird, right? Because it, like I said, it bounces and then it doesn't. Well, according to me, it bounces and it doesn't rotate.
It bounces weird. That's what you see. Yeah.
And it would explain it if German is correct, but I still say that it's hitting the floor and they just neglected to rotate the knife when it bounced off the floor. But let us know in the comments or you know what? I will mention this now, but I'll also mention this
Nah, he shot it.
At the end, I created a phone number for us.
Oh.
So if anyone wants to leave us a voicemail,
A codec call?
a codec call, if you will, yes. What is oh my God, I cannot find the phone number. So if you want to leave us a codec call message, you can call us. It is a U.S. number, so if you're out of country, you will have to call us. Just kidding. Don't do that. That's a reference from way back. Are collect calls still a thing?
Probably, but
I remember 10-10-220.
10-10-220?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then there was so many more after that, like that they invented out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, the phone number is 209-791-0995. I couldn't find anything that was cool and relevant, so it's a weird ass number. So leave us a voicemail if you want. Settle this argument.
Watch the fight. Yes, dude, he shoots a knife.
Yes, somebody please let us know. Like, the next episode will not come out unless I'm holding the next episode hostage. Leave us a voicemail. This has to be settled.
Well, now the one who shall not be named will definitely comment.
Yes.
Please,
oh
my God.
Let me know.
Yeah. Even the people that we know, go right ahead. Since we know you are a group of friends, we are introverts, but we are not really introverts. So yeah. I know if there is an opinion out there, it will be said. But anyways, yes, she can redirect the light at you, and on normal and below, you can shoot it out with the dart gun. On hard and above, you cannot shoot it out.
I must have forgotten that, because I remember when I was doing it, and I was just goofing around, and I was like, dude, I'm hitting it, and then I was like, whatever, I'll just do it without shooting the light. And you're like, oh, you actually can't. And I was like, really? I'm like, huh.
And I think it's the same with the tarp. I think you can't shoot out that
it would
rope
make sense.
Because it's just a dart. So it makes that fight way harder.
Mm-hmm.
However, a couple weeks back, maybe a month back, I was playing this while my wife was watching, and I happened to find a spot. You know how there's like crates in front of you, and there's that little opening?
Mm-hmm.
If you happen to crouch there at the perfect spot, you get a good look at her legs, like her camouflage fatigues, whatever. So you get a good look at her left leg when she's behind the fridge looking thing. And then she'll run over to that other single crate on the right-hand side. And if you hold that first-person view and lean to the left, you get a good shot at her right leg. And you can just fucking cheese her. And I did that. I was like, dude, does this work on extreme? And I literally did it on extreme. And I never gave her the chance to go to the tarp or go to the light.
That's right, because I remember you saying like it was easier to fight her on extreme than it was some of the lower difficulties.
Yeah, I was like, I could just sit here and cheat. Yeah, because the other difficulty, she'll definitely run off like right away. But for some reason on extreme, it's almost like the whole Vulcan Raven thing where you can stun lock her.
Yeah,
and she
That's
never
what it seems like
her logic never tells her, oh, now it's time to go to the tarp, because usually when her stamina's down half, she goes to the tarp and then.
Possibly because she hasn't spotted you, maybe,
Maybe.
That, because I'm pretty sure her cone is yellow at that point.
Yeah.
I remember when I was doing it, you were telling me, it's like, you told me about that, and I was like, I want to say, at least, I didn't stun lock her. I 100% can tell you I've never stun locked her like you did.
Yeah,
but I remember being able to peek through there, and I was like, yeah, I know, but I just wanted to beat her normal. Like, all right, whatever, I'll just fucking clear through the boxes. But I definitely was getting the angle wrong. And I remember when I was playing, my muscle memory was weird because I kept like I was trying to do a quick reload, but I would do 3 for some reason. So I would actually unequip my gun, and then I'd go to first person to shoot, and I had no gun. I was like, dude, I was getting so pissed off.
I think I was doing the same thing too, because I was like, oh, where's my gun?
I don't know why, but yeah, I was doing 3. I was taking on, off.
Another thing that was hella throwing my muscle memory off is that I had a third person camera.
Oh yeah.
Which made it way, way weird, dude. Like, it was I think that's when I was like, I should do the Kriss strategy because I don't have to rely on the camera.
Dude, I was gonna ask you, dude. I wanted you to do the third person camera there and move it so you can see Olga after you knock her out and see when she despawns.
Yeah, as soon as you go up the stairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're right. As soon as you touch the stairs, she's already gone. But yeah, so another thing that I discovered that I guess I never did before is stun grenades. So if you happen to get your hands on some stun grenades, you can throw some stun grenades and definitely stun her for a bit, and then you can get some free shots at her.
I don't think I've ever used stuns against her.
For some reason, I was just like, hey, I have stun grenades on me, and I just to test, and it worked, and I was like, whoa. which I think that's the best. You got to use those when she's throwing the light at you. Because that's Kriss was hella struggling with that. He's just like, dude, it's pointing right at me. Like, how am I supposed to shoot this thing if she's blinding me? And I think I said stuns at that point because I think I'd already discovered it by then. But I don't think you had any stun grenades on you.
I don't think so. Yeah.
And I think on hard and extreme there is no stun grenades anywhere to be found. So you're fucked either way. You just have to deal with it. Pretty much, just gonna have to force her away from the light. Which the only way to do that is to stand between the light, is to put that fridge-looking thing between you and the light, because then that forces her to come forward and look for you, or she'll just start spamming grenades like she does.
Yeah.
Kriss, did you notice when you're in first-person view? Because I noticed you in that firefight. If you die in first-person view, your screen cracks. I don't know if
I did notice that. Yeah.
Yeah, I always remember thinking that was a pretty cool little detail. In extreme, she'll one-shot you, so every time you're going into first-person shoot, you'll always get that crack screen. So
yeah, dude. Like, it took 2 shots for me to die on extreme. But I remember when I was watching you play, it was like 1 shot, and I was like, whoa. It's like, what the hell? Like, I don't know.
I was just exposing my head, I guess, perfectly. I don't know.
I guess she was headshotting you or some shit. But yeah, after you defeat her, there's like a drone that comes out of nowhere, and Snake identifies it as a cipher, specifically an Army Cipher T, which I'd never heard this term before. I guess that's what they're called. Military drones are called ciphers, maybe?
I think I have heard the term, but again, I could possibly be making it up. So
yeah, that could have just been something for the world of Metal Gear. But this is also the part where Otacon, let me rewind it back a little bit. Otacon mentions at the beginning that he hacked the information of this new Metal Gear out of the Pentagon himself, right? And Snake was like, were you careful? And he's like, oh, of course, I'm the best.
Yeah.
But right here, after defeating Olga, he admits that he actually didn't obtain this information on his own.
That's right.
That he actually obtained it from an anonymous person who signed it EE, the initials Echo Echo. And that's, I guess it's a reference to his stepsister that he knew way back when. And so that's what caught his attention, and that's why he trusted the information. But at that point, Snake for sure is like, this is all very suspicious. We have to watch our backs.
Yeah.
Which to me always made me laugh, because he says, like, nobody really knows about her or some shit like that, And I was like, well, she's got the same fucking last name as you, bro. And you're both, like, really smart scientists. Like, how can you say no one knows about her? Like, I'm sure the entire CIA and Army knows about you and her being related, but whatever,
Right? It's like, hey, let's put this young baby into hiding and still leave him with the last name Skywalker. We'll never know it's him.
Right?
They'll never know it's Anakin's son. No one will ever know. And Obi-Wan, you can just call yourself Ben Kenobi, and no one will ever find you either. It's the same thing. It's just like, dude, the same fucking last name. Which is interesting that she has that last name, considering some things that we learn later. Anyways, there's a tower there, and if you, depending on the difficulty, you will find a suppressor for the USP up there, along with thermals. Yeah, you completely missed the suppressor. The suppressor does not exist in very easy, because people assume you'll do fine, because very easy is insanely easy. It's so easy that it's like fucking cakewalk, dude. Like, you can. I remember trying to die because I was just like, dude, I don't want to deal with this, and I'm like trying to die, and they're like, shoot me like 10 times, dude, while I'm on the floor, not even trying to get up. And I was like, can you just kill me already? But yeah,
they stay asleep for like ever.
Yes. You can dart them or tranquilize them, and they'll be sleeping for hella long, like pretty much until the whole room resets.
Possibly, honestly, I mean,
which means you have to be like a couple rooms away. But on like extreme, like maybe a minute, 2 minutes, maybe they'll stay asleep.
Oh, it's fucking
like they wake up pretty quick. It's almost like if you only like punched them to knock them out. Like that's how long they last. Yeah, and that's very short too. Like that's shorter. But yeah, you make your way back down through, what is it, like a mess hall, and where is it? This is where you enter the engine room, which also Kriss was not paying attention to the Codec call, and was like, I don't know where to go. And I was like, I forget how I gave him the clue, but he managed to get into the engine room, and this is where you see the Vulcan Raven shadow. And this is kind of where the Metal Gear games start not only fourth wall breaking, but they start acknowledging that they are video games, right? Like, who has a fucking action figure of a Vulcan Raven? You know, and it's just this little tiny thing. And if you shoot it or if you stomp on it, it starts shooting little pellets. And Sherman was like, count them. And I was like, I'm not going to count them. It's like 500 of them, dude. Like, because he does spew out like a bunch. And then at a certain point, they start disappearing. But yeah, there's that little Vulcan Raven guy. And this engine room, I know Kriss had a hell of a time getting through a couple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's an alternate route if you have leveled up your grip and you can just kind of bypass the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then you get to if you're on normal, it's a 3-wall laser setup. If you're on easy, it's only 2 walls, and if it's on very easy, it's only 1. And there are these little control units that you can only shoot out with the regular gun, with the USP. You can't do it with a trank. And the first time Otacon explains that to you actually is right before you get to Olga, there's another laser wall there. And if you get near it, I think it's a forced call.
Yes.
Yeah, and Otacon's like, stop, you know, and he tells you they're lasers and they're wired to some Semtex. And so, like, if you run into it, like, you'll blow up the entire tanker, which I think, Kriss, you did that?
I did not blow that one up, no. Oh,
you blew up the other ones, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot they were called Semtex in this game. I thought they were still C4. I won't lie until I was watching Kriss play and they said like something. Oh yeah, Ocelot, when he goes, this whole ship is wired with enough Semtex to blow it out. I was like, oh shit, I forgot it's Semtex.
Well, I think that's only for the laser walls, because you still have
C4 in the
C4 as a weapon later on.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Spoilers.
I don't remember, so.
It's C4, Kriss. You have C4 in every single one. Gosh. It's not like it's going to be C5 or anything weird like that. Wink, wink, German. Yeah, so... Yeah, that took Kriss a while, too. Like, I literally had to tell him, think in 3 dimensions, you know? Like, because he would only... Well, first you spotted 2 of them, and then for some reason you forgot about the second one at some point because you were like, "There's only this one," and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, it's you. I was like, just fucking face palming the entire time. Yeah. But then you managed to like, oh, up there's like some Semtex, and you finally decided to hop on the little thing and shoot it, and you got through. And then there's that whole fiasco down the hallway with the only 3 guards that you have to get past. Like literally the last 3 guards you have to get past. And then you do the forced firefight. And then after the forced firefight, we get a cutscene where one of the soldiers apparently was hiding somewhere, which German pointed out, like, where the fuck was that guy?
Yeah, camo, dude.
Yeah, really good camo against that that white tanker wall. And we see Ocelot kind of sneak up on him. And he's like, hey, why aren't you with the colonel? And Ocelot pulls a gun on him. And he's like, what the fuck? You know, and he fucking blows his brains out, which, by the way, another thing to point out, in the original PS2 version, there is a lot of blood. Like when the Marines get their throat slit, there's a shit ton of blood. Like it's just like it's like Kill Bill Volume 1 levels of blood. If you've ever seen that movie where they get their limbs cut off and it's just like, you know, like really old school blood effects on movies, like that's how it is in the PS2 version. Once it came to HD version, they really dumbed it down. So
yeah, you're
not seeing the amount of blood that I remember seeing as a kid, where I was just like, "Whoa, this is way too much blood, dude."
So it was toned down. Okay,
it was toned down. The blood, okay. Yeah. If you get your hands on the copy of the PS2 one, just play up to. Well, I mean, you can just play the intro part, and you'll see how much blood comes out of the Marines' throats when they get killed. It's just like, whoa, that's gnarly. But yeah, like that headshot, so much blood in the PS2 version. Ocelot says something like, "What does he say? You'll go down with the ship, comrade," or something like that. What does he say?
Oh fuck! What he says something along the lines like, something about sending the colonel to him, doesn't he? I don't remember. Hold on, I can look up the trend.
Yeah, something like that. Then that makes you sus of Ocelot. Yeah. You know, because you kind of already know he's like a double crosser from the first game, because he didn't give a shit about Liquid's plan. He was working for Solidus, according to the call, and Kurlukovich. So it's just like, whose side is this motherfucker on? Like, what is his real motive, right?
Yeah.
And so you make it through the hold. The commander is giving a 7-minute long speech, Kriss.
Not an hour?
No.
About an hour and 8 minutes?
7 minutes. The reason I am emphasizing 7 minutes is because while Kriss was trying to do things, he suddenly realizes around the 2-minute mark that he's like, oh shit, there's a timer.
Yeah. Even though it was explicitly said, you're on borrowed time or something. You have a certain time limit, or that you have limited time or something. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, Otacons, like I looked through his speech transcript, and it should be about 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I took that as one of those like game things where it's like you have to get it done. Like you can't go back and do anything else. You have to do this, but not there was a physical, literal time limit.
Like it was like an in-world thing. You know, like the timer will go forever, but it's 7 minutes.
Yeah. Well, and no, he even says like 7 minutes. That's if he doesn't throw a joke or two in there, something like that. And which he does every time he does stretches, every time he does those little drills.
And to the left.
It stops the timer, and then he does repeat himself like various times. He'll say the same shit, and he'll be like, "I seem to be repeating myself."
Yeah, which I'm so glad they pointed it out, because it's almost like they're like, we didn't write enough for 7 minutes, so let's say that he repeats himself, and, just like a wink to the audience if they're paying attention.
I correct me if I'm wrong. Is it on all three or on all difficulties where that he'll get the extra time if you run out of time, or is it only on easier time?
I didn't test on harder extreme. I should have, but for sure we saw it on normal because Kriss reached 0. Yeah. And I remember chat was like, no. And then when it reset, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that happens.
Yeah. They gave me an extra 3 minutes, and then I almost ran out of that time.
Yep. Yeah. No, I knew it was coming because I remember that. And then everybody was like, damn it again. Are you going to do it all over again? And then you get your time. Everybody was like, oh, holy shit. Even the game feels sorry for you or whatever, right? Yeah. And then I was like, quick, take picture of the commander. Yeah. And then who was it? Was a spy? Somebody.
It was Seth.
Seth. He was like, just fucking take. He was so done. And you still almost failed, Kriss. God.
Yeah, I had like 3 seconds left by the time I uploaded this thing.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Yeah, so you make it through the holds, and then you got to take the required pictures where it's from the front left, front right, and a clear picture of the Marines insignia, which I'm so glad German mentioned this to me. When did you mention this to me?
During Kriss? Oh, during my stream.
During your stream, yeah. So I also did not have this word in my vocabulary at the time, and so yeah, I was looking for like a little. I don't know what I was looking for.
Again, neither did I, because when he shows the image that's shown when he's talking about that shows like the commander, I believe, with Metal Gear. So I was like, oh, a picture of the Marine standing in front of it, I guess. You know, I was trying to get like all kinds of angles. I remember when I first got that Metal Gear, that one, you know, because he does the little noise comes out and he's like, got it, or whatever. I remember I was just randomly taking pictures, trying to figure out what the fuck Icon wanted from me. And I somehow got it. I didn't know. Again, I took the picture. It's on the leg. I think you can take it on left, right leg. And if you come from the top, you can take it on one of the wings or whatever you want to call it, the arms.
Yeah, I think there's 4 spots. Like each of the arms have one, and then the legs have, or like the what is it? Like the side, like the rib side, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and the point is, for my first 6 playthroughs or so. Again, I had no idea what I was taking a picture of, but I would just go to that same spot and just aim in that general direction and take a picture until it gave me that chime that I got it right. And it wasn't until like freaking way later that I realized, like, oh, I'm taking a picture of the goddamn letters that say Marines on it.
Yeah, the fucking logo, God.
I was so pissed.
You know what told me what it finally was? The fucking intro tells you. It even has like a camera shot of it. It's like the Marines insignia, and it's like panning. Like live,
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I was like,
maybe I was playing on small TV and I didn't catch what the fuck it was showing me.
Yeah, because like you don't know if that camera or whatever is doing which also, if he has that camera angle, why the fuck does he need me?
Right?
He's showing me this feed, and it's just like, well, you clearly have a man on the inside already taking video. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, that's what told me finally after who knows how many playthroughs that I was like, oh, okay, insignia, and I still, didn't really understand what that meant until later. Like, it's just like whatever, the thing that I don't even know how to describe right now. It's just a logo.
It's the fucking
a marker.
I got the transcripts here, and for what you were talking about earlier, the soldier says he says, "Why are you here?" He goes, "We thought you were with the colonel." And then Ocelot turns around or pulls the guns out. Soldier says, "What the fuck?" Shoots him. And all he says, the colonel will be joining you soon, comrade.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but
That's
I
what
thought
he says.
yeah. But still, it was very suspicious, and I was so looking forward to what the hell was going on in that section there.
Yeah.
The first time, obviously.
Yeah. Which we saw that in the trailer.
I think we do see that in the trailer. Yes.
Yeah, we see that in the trailer. And anyways, yeah. You take the pictures, you upload them. You can have some fun with Otacon, as we said, with different pictures of different stuff. And I think it is time, German, how quickly you do the entire tanker before you get to the first hold.
Okay.
On the guys in the last hold being all in their underwear.
Okay.
Because I noticed every single time I did it, because I was doing it quick, I was like, dude, I'm getting the underwear every single time. So it has to be a time thing.
Okay.
It's probably like you have to make it before an hour or maybe before 30 minutes or something. Because if I was averaging about 30 to 40 minutes getting all the dog tags and stuff. Because it's a short spot, but there's just so much to do. I can't believe how much they put into this little short thing. Like you can run it in like 20 minutes, man. Like easy, maybe less. So yeah, after you upload the photos, the commander finishes his speech, and then we get Ocelot. Oh, sorry. If you crawl to get to the third hold, there's a little ledge that you climb up, and before there's like a little fireman pole that you can slide down. If you don't slide down that thing right away and you look towards Ray and you look at the front left arm, Ocelot is standing there, and you can take a picture of that apparently 3 times. And if you upload that to Otacon, he's like, "Oh, don't show me creepy things." Like, and I forget what he says the other 2 times.
He's like, he pretty much says like, "I feel like I'm gonna get possessed or nightmares or some shit like that."
Give me 1 second. I will be right back.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Luis.
Huh.
He shoots the knife.
How?
Huh?
Prove it.
It's there in the cutscene.
I looked at it I've looked at that cutscene so many times, dude. There's no way.
He shoots the knife.
Look it up on forums. What do people say?
I actually did search a couple forums. I don't think anyone's really debated that because they all know he shot it.
Because they all know he shot it.
I'm interested to see what people say.
Yeah, I hope somebody fucking reply or gives their 2 cents. The great MGS2 debate: does Snake shoot? I should make a fucking video about it.
He shoots the knife.
There's no way.
No way realistically, but he's Snake. Yeah, quick. What do you call it?
With a slow ass dart.
Yeah, I know, but he shoots it.
Like I'd never heard anyone, like, there's not too many people that I speak about Metal Gear 2, but no one has ever said that. No one has ever said like, yeah, and then he shoots the knife. That's why when you said that, I was like, when the fuck does he do that? Like, that is not a thing, but we'll see. We'll see how the fans weigh in.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Word up. So German admitted that he does not shoot the knife.
No, he shoots the knife.
I have it on recording. Way back.
Proof.
What the hell were we talking about?
You were talking about uploading stuff to Otacon, and I think the last thing you brought up was if you upload pictures of Ocelot. Yeah.
Right. So Ocelot comes in. He's clapping, slow clapping. Everyone's like, where the fuck is this clap coming from? He says, German, do you want to say it? I know you love this little monologue.
Well, what does he say? He pretty much says, "Oh fuck, dude, not me on the spot." The gift of the silver. I'm paraphrasing. Gift of the silver tongue. It's a mark of a good commander and of a liar, right? Something like that.
He says, "Excellent speech, my friend."
There you go.
Gift of the silver tongue.
Gift.
And then you said it too. What was it? It's the mark of a good leader. Not good leader, and of a liar. Yeah, but that's it's just a way. So hit the actor's name. Patrick Zimmerman is his name. I don't know if you guys remember, for the first game, everyone went by aliases to protect themselves because the Union wasn't allowing them.
That's right, yeah.
Besides David Hayter, he was the only one who had his real name on there. In MGS1, his name was Patrick Lane. But so he's Patrick Zimmerman. He goes by his real name in this game. And Ocelot is definitely, I think, my favorite character in the entire series. He's just, I don't know. He's very charismatic. He knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, there's never like a moment where he's not in control.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But especially these monologues that he gives. Like, that was a very tiny monologue, but like, you know, he says that, and while he's doing that, pretty much he's distracting all the soldiers that are pointing their guns at Ocelot, and then Tiny Head comes from behind and grabs the commander, and now he's holding him hostage as a human shield. And basically, Tiny Head gives this. By the way, that's Gurlukovich, if anyone forgot. He gives this monologue where, you know, he's going to take Metal Gears so that Mother Russia will rise again, you know?
Yeah.
And the commander, have they revealed his name in this?
Dude, do they reveal his name? Yeah, they say he's Commander Jackson. I think that's all they say, right?
Well, his name's...
No.
They don't reveal it here?
No, he's not Jackson. I'm sorry. I kept saying Jackson, but that's somebody else. Scott Dolph. They must show his name when you walk into that room or something. But
so the reason we're mentioning his name is because what was it in Ghost Babel?
Ghost Babel. Mm-hmm.
The name Scott Dolph, as one of the interpreters, one of the local from the localization team, his name was Scott Dolph, and that's the name that we saw, Chris, when we were like, what the heck? So
okay,
we're guessing maybe they named this character after him. I don't know if he still did the localization for this game. I know Kriss Zimmerman is actually credited for doing the localization for this instead of Jeremy. I forgot his name from the first game that I gave credit to. Blaustein? Jeremy Blaustein, I think was his name. So after he left, or whatever happened between him and Kojima, Kriss Zimmerman came in and took over that job. And yes, Kriss Zimmerman and Patrick Zimmerman were married. Kriss as in Christina. So Patrick Zimmerman, Ocelot, and Kriss Zimmerman, the localizer of the game, were married during, I think, the development of this game.
Oh, no way.
They have since been divorced, but still continue to work together. So very, very professional folks, and they did a great job, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they were just kind of like, I don't know why they put Scott Dolph in there. It's such a weird.
I know, we should look more into that, whether it was done on purpose or just as they just decided the name Scott Dolph sounded cool.
Yeah, right.
But what's interesting is that in Ghost Babel, like, I think Scott Dolph is like very bold. Like, it's not like just in between a bunch of names, wasn't it? Wasn't it like the lead freaking translator or localizer or whatever?
Yeah, but when I saw
it was pretty
like,
prominent because it stood out. So I'm assuming it must have been some kind of tribute, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, it's at this point where Ocelot interrupts Gurlukovich's speech, and Ocelot says, sorry to disappoint you, but, we're not going to use Metal Gear Ray, by the way, codename Ray, Metal Gear Ray to help Mother Russia anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And, Gurlukovich is like, what? What do you mean? And Scott Dolph, the commander, says, what do you plan to do with Ray? And Ocelot says, what do you plan to steal Metal Gear Ray? Whatever. And Ocelot says, steal? No, I'm taking it back for the Patriots. And this is the first time we've ever heard this term, the Patriots, which is also followed by Commander Scott Dolph saying...
What does he say, Chris? What does Scott Dolph Jackson say? Sorry, Scott Dolph, damn it.
I don't remember.
Oh,
no,
we've
I'm
said
on the
it.
Spot.
We've said it a million times. Ocelot goes, I'm taking it back to the Patriots. And then he says, the
liars.
No. La.
Use all 5 of your vowels.
Now I can't remember what it is.
It's 5 vowels with L.
I only have the la, so, fa, si, do, or whatever. It's stuck in my head now.
Oh, well, do that, but with L's.
Lolly, li, lo.
Ooh, very
close enough. Yes.
Yes. Dolph says the lolly lule lo.
Yeah, lolly. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, and at that point, Gurlukovich is like, he's like, what? Are you still, I guess at this point, Gurlukovich didn't know that Ocelot was working with Solidus. Because he says, "Are you still in league with Solidus?"
Yeah,
and it's just like, whoa! It's almost like a broken marriage type of thing that just happened right there, because it's like the wife just found out that that
he's still seeing the secretary or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's who Solidus is. Solidus is the mistress, and Grulukovic
told
is
me
like
you broke it off.
Exactly. That's the vibes that I always got from that. Even as a kid, I was like, this is very. But it makes sense because they're both Russians, Ocelot and Grulukovic. So Grulukovic asks him like, when did you abandon us? When did you abandon Russia? And Ocelot says, well, I'm glad you noticed, comrade. I abandoned her during the Cold War, which is an insane amount of time ago.
Yeah.
Because this game is set in 2007, and the Cold War it ended in the 80s, right? It was like from the 70s to the 80s?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, yeah, so
well,
it's like...
no, the Cold War was from the end of World War II, basically, till like
all
the
the
80s.
all the way to the 80s. That's right. You're right.
Yeah.
Right. Damn. Oh, man, I forgot that's how fucking long that was.
Yeah.
That's an insane amount of time to be like afraid of nuclear war.
Yeah.
What did that do to our parents pretty much?
Mm-hmm.
Living through that kind of terror. The commies. Oh my God.
Well, I mean, there was that whole thing too with like in the 50s and 60s. Well, 50s, I think mostly, not so much the 60s, where if they thought you were commie pinko, as they put it, a supporter, a sympathizer, communist sympathizer, your life was screwed up. You got messed up. Like you couldn't do anything.
Yeah, there was Jim Carrey was the star of a movie based on that kind of same thing, the Majestic. Did you guys ever watch that?
Oh, I don't think I have, but I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, he oh man, I wish I could remember the entire premise of it, but like I don't know if he like lost his memory or something, and he's like working at this theater called the Majestic, and some information surfaces that he was like a communist, and since he doesn't really kind of remember who he is, he's like, I'm not that person anymore, but they're still like prosecuting him for that.
Oh shit. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I don't exactly know if it's based on true events, but it kind of gives off those vibes. So I don't know, check it out. Kind of relevant to what we're talking about, but yeah, like things that happened during and in the middle of the Cold War, we also went into the Korean War, which is insane. This country has just been in constant war since World War I. Like it's just like, if it's not that, then Vietnam also in the middle of the Cold War. Like Jesus Christ, like one war at a time, you guys.
North Korea, Cold War, Desert Storm.
Yeah, right after the Cold War ended, then we're like, hey, let's go fuck with the Middle East now. And
well, again,
again, that's right. We didn't train Al Qaeda to fight Russia. Yes, we totally did. we also sold them a bunch of weapons and shit. Who knew that was going to turn against us?
Yeah, weird.
Same with Saddam Hussein. Anyways, so Ocelot's cheating on Grulukovic with Solidus, apparently. This is when Grulukovic gets pissed. He throws the rolling pin and says, "You're out of my house, Ocelot," and pushes Scott Dolph towards Ocelot in hopes of kind of like distracting Ocelot to get a shot off on him. But Ocelot throws his duster, his trench coat, to obscure Grulukovic's vision and shoots through the duster
like a badass,
and shoots both Scott Dolph and Grulukovic dead.
And he says my probably second favorite line: "Traitorous dog."
Yeah, traitorous dog. Yeah, as he falls down. And so there's that whole thing, and then then this is my favorite line from Ocelot in this part. He says, "Looks like you were long due for retirement." And he fucking mic drops the revolver in his hand, which is sick as fuck. And it's at that point that Snake decides to finally intervene because he's been watching this whole thing for like 5 minutes. And, he's like, Ocelot. Oh, no. This isn't the part where he does it. Ocelot says that the ship is wired with Semtex. He says that while he has Scott Dolph hostage. But then he says, what does he say? I forget, but he pretty much pulls the trigger.
Well, before... Oh, yeah, so I was going to bring that up. Is before Grulukovic grabs Scott Dolph, is, she's like, oh, the ship has enough Semtex to blow it out of the harbor.
Right.
And then everyone kind of backs off, and he's like, that's right. No one needs to die needlessly, right?
That's what he says, yeah.
And then after he kills Grulukovic and freaking Scott Dolph, he literally says, like, He goes, show's over. If you, I'm reading the script here.
Yes.
Show's over. He goes, if you want to live, I suggest you run now. This ship is still in the lower New York harbor. You may yet make it
to shore if you swim for your life.
And he blows it up anyway. So I always remember thinking back to myself, like, if these guys knew you were gonna blow it up anyways, they would have just fucking, attacked. It just
should have before.
No one needs to die needlessly. And he goes, oh, by the way, click.
Yeah. That's why I love Ocelot, because it's just like, dude, what is he fucking up to? Like, you're always like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. He doesn't seem like a villain. He seems like an anti-hero in his own story. Like, I wonder if there was like ever like a way to, like, if you played through if you controlled Ocelot, like, what would you be doing?
That'd be
You know what I mean? Like, he's got so much going on that it's just like, I kind of want to play as him.
Jesus.
Just to see what the hell he's doing. But yeah, that's when he jumps into Ray. Or no, sorry. No, he gets to the ledge about to enter Ray.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Snake pops out and he yells, Ocelot! And when he does that, the now super in your face right arm, if you didn't notice until now, Ocelot has his right arm back, and it's weird looking, and it starts like freaking out on him. And I got a note to say here that I don't like the way the scream sounds here. It sounds very like distant when he's screaming when he's holding his hand in the US translation. If you listen to the Japanese version, like in the trailer, like there's a real scream. Like Ocelot's like really screaming. He's like, ah! So I like that version better. But anyways, he screams and he like bites his arm or something.
Yeah.
And once he does that, all of a sudden he has a British accent.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking to Snake saying, it's been a while, brother. And, Snake's like, who are you? And Liquid says, you know who I am. And that's when Snake goes, Liquid? So this voice actor, his name is Cam Clark. But in the original game, his I already forgot his name in the original in MGS1. It's
I wouldn't.
James Flinders. It pops up when he's going up that elevator in the first Metal Gear Solid.
Oh yeah, okay.
But yes, Cam Clark is his real name. He's not really British. He's just doing an accent, which he has voiced in interviews that I don't know what accent I'm doing. It sounds British, but that's what they wanted me to do, and that's the accent that came out. So he's pretty much like, don't at me. I know that's not, I know it's not a real British accent, but that's the accent that came out. Anyways, he as Liquid, he talks about how that Naomi passed him over for the Fox Die program.
Yeah, I was just reading that, which never made sense to me. Still doesn't. What do you mean passed him over?
Right. So does Liquid think that Naomi didn't actually target Snake in the first game and only targeted Liquid? Maybe that's why she was being so vague at the end of the game. Right. So maybe that's what she was doing for Snake, was like, you know what? If I tell you that I didn't actually target you, even though you're genetically a clone, and I only targeted Liquid, if I tell you that, maybe you won't live your life to the fullest.
Oh yeah, huh?
Because that's all she kept telling him, is like, live,
yeah.
And it was driving Kriss crazy, because he was like,
"What do you mean? What am I supposed to do?
Am I gonna die? Like, can you just tell me?"
Yep.
So yeah. At that point, he returns to being Ocelot. Like, his arm freaks out again, and he returns to being Ocelot. And he's like, "Get out of my mind, Liquid." Something jolts Snake. He falls into the water. I was gonna say Liquid. Ocelot jumps into Ray, and we see Ray doing some pretty cool things. Like, it sucks up water and then it shoots it out like a laser, like it's just like a pressure washer, and cuts the hull of the tanker. And pretty much, Snake's like trudging through the water trying to do something.
I thought that actually was a laser.
No, that was water.
It's water.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you could see it. So it dips its head into the water, and you can see that it's sucking water up because there's like bodies near it, and they're kind of moving closer and closer to the Ray.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right, they're kind of being like the way you like slurp water, like it's like,
yeah,
and you kind of see the bodies going towards it. Because I thought it was a laser too when I first saw it.
What are you talking about? It's clearly a laser.
What?
Yeah, it's a laser.
That's what I thought too.
Then why did it suck up water?
Yeah, it's like a water, dude. Crazy.
What are you trolling me right now?
You shot the knife, dude. That's why.
You're fucking gaslighting me, dude. It's a laser. I knew the tone in your voice. I was like, you're fucking gaslighting me right now.
I was like, wait a minute, why is German agreeing with me? This never happens.
Yeah, this is very suspicious. But yeah, basically, all the soldiers are trying to shoot this thing, which is like, what are you, dumb? Like, you're not going to take this thing out.
No, run. I know. No shit, dude.
Like, some fools get stomped on the fucking railing on the side and shit.
Just like Gray Fox.
Yep.
Yep. Stomped out like Gray Fox, who may or may not return, according to the trailer. But yeah, the Ray pretty much breaks out of the tanker and is standing on top of the tanker, which, by the way, how the fuck did that thing fit in the tanker?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're standing at the beginning of the game, the width of the bow is definitely narrower.
That's true.
Than Ray inside the hold.
Yeah.
Right? Am I tripping, or is it just?
No, it's much bigger in there than it is outside. Yeah.
I almost want to test it. I almost want to like walk across it and just count the steps.
Do it
and
Matt Pat style.
Yes, and measure pixels. What did it say? Mario's like 8 feet tall or whatever the fuck you said.
No, isn't that fucking Wario?
Oh yeah, Wario. Yeah, Wario's like 8 feet tall according to the pixels. Rip Matt Pat. Not that he's dead, but that he has retired.
Yeah.
It's good for him though. Like he ran a company like
no shit
by himself with
not
by himself with his wife
from the ground up.
Yeah,
from the ground up.
He's definitely earned the time off. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I'm older than him, and he's already retired, dude.
Yeah,
like this dude worked his ass off. Not only did he sustain 4 channels, but he was also a consultant to many different YouTube channels, and just what a badass dude. What a fucking badass. Super intelligent dude. And
oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm still watching the channel because like the people that took over, I mean, they were the writers. So you know, they're doing great. I think it's awesome that the tasks are now split between 4 people as they should have been from the beginning, because that poor bastard was writing and speaking at the same time. Like, fuck that. Anyways, so I'm gonna try to do that test. I'll do the how many steps test, because I think it might be the camera angle that's making me think that one is more narrow than the other. But anyways, it breaks out and it jumps into it backflips. So this Metal Gear is very agile. It fucking backflips into the water and escapes. Ocelot is in a codec call with the president, which we have actually also learned his name from the commander's speech. His name is George Sears.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so his name is George Sears. And yeah, he's on a codec call with him. You know, he's like, yeah, I got the pictures of blah, 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 Mr. President, and fucking swims away. I don't even know what to call that. Dives away? What is it?
Yeah, it's just swims away, honestly.
Yeah. Swims away, I guess. Yeah, I couldn't even, like, my brain took a shit. And Snake falls into the ocean and drowns, supposedly.
Yep, he's dead forever.
Because Otacon is like, Snake, you know, and when that happens, that's when Snake dies.
Yeah, I've heard it many, many times.
Yeah, so we know that it's canon that if someone yells Snake, you have officially died. And yeah, that's pretty much the tanker. I do want to mention some things about trailer differences. Did you notice that, Kriss? Some things that we saw in the trailer definitely didn't happen in this sequence, right? There's that whole water chase down the hallways with Snake, you know, running away from the water.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And Snake actually like running away from explosions.
There was a scene where Ray is standing and like I think he kicks or he breaks the, what would you call it, the hole, or not the where the steering is, you know, the main.
Yeah, from outside.
The bridge.
Yeah. The bridge. There you go. The bridge.
Yeah, he kicks the bridge.
Yeah, so I'm kind of glad we can kind of talk about this now, and if we need to save it for next time, it's perfect too. But yeah, there was so much shit on that trailer that I was like, what the fuck? Again, Kriss, I was like, yeah, that doesn't happen, but that looks fucking dope though, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and even like Snake at that point where after he kicks the bridge and, you know, Ray's just standing on top of the tanker. Snake just says like, what does he say? Like we're like in big trouble here or some shit like that.
Something, but he's looking at it. It makes you think that's where you fight Ray and shit, you know?
Yeah, which you know, as a kid I was like, why are they showing all this? Like, isn't Metal Gear like the last thing you fight? Like, what the fuck is going on? So yeah, there was a lot of tactical misleading for sure, where, you know, they show you some things and at the same time, yeah, they're misleading you, going like, no, there's you know, that's not going to happen. But let me tell you something, German, that I found out recently. That water chase scene
Mm-hmm.
And that explosion chase scene, those were in the game until about a month before release.
Oh, wow.
So they were intended to be in the game.
Huh.
And then they pulled them out because they were like, this isn't fun and it doesn't really work. So they took it out.
That's cool.
So it's like, was it misleading? Or, was this their vision and they just couldn't accomplish it?
Well, you know what? Speaking of, I can't say about it yet, but yeah, we'll go back to that water part later.
Yes.
So.
Yes, I know what you're referring to.
Okay.
Also.
Okay. So
but the things that we did talk about in the trailer, well, the ones that I just talked about right now, those ones were, I guess, intended up until like a month before release, and they were like, "No, we got to cut this out."
Huh. Okay.
Which is interesting to learn that.
Yeah. So time wise here, I think we're pretty much caught up to this everything we've played so far. Well,
yeah.
me and Chris, because Luis has already done his thing.
Sorry,
Chris. No, it's cool. Like I said, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I booted up 3 when we said we were gonna start this whole thing. Before I even did the first one, and I was just playing around. I was like, God damn it, I want to play 3, but I'm like, no, just go play the originals or do the list, do it in order.
Yeah.
But I had 3. I literally was like walking around. I was like, oh, I want to play this game so bad. Freaking Chris, what do you think's happening? What's your
yeah? What do you sus and not sus?
I'm a little sus of Otacon.
Okay.
Oh,
the good doctor, huh? You were calling him Dr.
Otacon.
Right?
Yeah.
Dr. Otto.
Dr. Otacon. Yep, Dr. Octavius.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why? Because he didn't actually get that information from the Pentagon, or
no, I don't know what it is.
There's something.
It's just one of those gut feelings, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe he's working with Mei Ling.
I think he's I not necessarily that he's going to be a traitor or anything.
Just different agenda.
I just think it's going to be like the Colonel in Ghost Battle, where he's hiding something, and he's not being completely honest or whatever.
Well, the Colonel was also not being honest in MGS1.
Yeah,
as well.
That's true. Yeah.
So
but nobody was except for Mei Ling. She's the only honest person there.
I know, seriously, what the hell?
Mei Ling and Natasha were the only honest people.
Speaking of Natasha, actually, I wanted to talk about this. When we first saw that cutscene with Olga, I thought it was Natasha.
Oh, yeah.
Very
that was
similar
my immediately
looking.
thought. Yeah. But anyway, I think that Mr. Otacon
Dotacon?
is
Mr. Otacon.
His name is Dotacon now.
Dotacon, yep. Just like Dot from what was that show? Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Yeah, I think he's hiding something. Obviously, the whole Ocelot / Liquid Snake thing will continue to be a thing, I'm sure. I'm interested to see how that plays out with Metal Gear and everything. And
that's weird, like, right? How does an arm take over a person?
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, but I'm not sure what's to come, obviously. But I think that I think Otto is hiding something.
Okay.
Okay, cool. No, good. I think the next session is in order. So
so we need to figure out where to stop for the next one.
Yeah. We'll do that.
I was talking to who shall not be named, and I think oh man, like I don't even know how to say it without spoiling.
Mute Chris.
But then I wouldn't know where to stop.
I thought you were just gonna mention it to me.
No, we mute you.
I see. Yeah.
How do I do that?
Just turn off your feed to him.
Okay. Earmuffs, Chris.
You didn't hear that.
Can you hear us, Chris?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Chris?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't hear Luis?
I cannot hear Luis now.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
see.
So turn off. Well, you got to turn off your stream to him.
Oh, me too? Okay.
Well,
Hold
yeah.
on, Chris. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, so on the outgoing streams, just click off the one with his IP.
Okay. Christabel. Okay.
So I think what's the first boss?
Jesus.
Is it Fortune?
No, isn't it Fat Man?
Well, no, Fat Man is that.
Do a dance.
What'd he say?
He said, "I wonder if I should do a dance."
I think I'll do a dance.
Fortune's on the way to Fat Man.
Okay. Dude, I really don't remember.
So I think
Camo.
the first one should be Fat Man, or the first stopping point.
Yeah, sounds doable.
How do we describe that?
Oh, Jesus. How about the silly boss?
The silly boss?
No.
The boss who drinks
Hot
wine?
Hot Wheels?
What about the boss who drinks wine?
Yeah, boss who drinks wine.
I mean, and just say that it's the second boss?
Roller derby.
Roller derby. Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe it. Because then after that, it's what? It's the Harrier.
Yep, and then Vamp
and
after that.
Vamp 1. So it's the Harrier,
Yeah.
then Vamp 1.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, it's Vamp 2 with the sniper.
Yeah.
And then Metal Gear, right?
A bunch of Metal Gears.
Yeah.
Then Metal Gear, then a bunch of Metal Gears.
And then Solidus.
Well, yeah, then like I said, the whole pretty much the Tengu soldiers or whatever, that whole Arsenal Gear section.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is why I think we should, after Fat Man, we should go all the way to Vamp 2 because the whole Emma thing.
Yeah.
And it kind of leaves it in the cliffhanger for that. And then the rest of the game. Yeah.
We can always discuss this later on, too, and just trying to plan it out. Because, I mean, it's going to take a while just to get past anything right now. So.
Okay. Oh, I guess we could just say the bald
oh, yeah.
boss.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Let's bring him in.
Kriss?
Yes.
Okay. Did you hear any of that?
Yes.
Damn it. Okay, so you're going to stop at the second boss, who is the bald boss.
Okay.
Like, we were literally trying to figure out how we describe this boss to you without giving anything away. So, yes, he's a bald boss. It should be the second boss.
Okay.
But bald should definitely confirm for you.
Cool.
Alrighty, so we have our marching orders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anything else? Oh, yeah, I'll mention again here that, we have the intro and the outro that explains. You guys can write into us with email, and yeah, you can write to us the email. We have the website, whatever. But
we have the phone number now.
Yes, but now we have the phone number. So if you guys want to leave us a codec message, we shall call it. We'll start a little segment for people who call in. But yeah, first settle the debate of did Snake shoot this Spetsnaz knife out of the air?
Yes, he did. 100%.
It's a question, German. It's not a statement.
Could be both.
So that phone number, once again, it's in the United States only, so you may have to call long distance if you're Canadian. It's 209-791-0995. And I think I will have to make this, I'm not going to let it ring, but I'm going to have to make it give me like a notification or something so that I can know that someone actually called.
Yeah.
If it does ring on me, I'm going to let it go to voicemail, or I'll just send you directly to voicemail so that you don't have to wait. If I'm near it, I'll just send you right there, leave your voicemail, and we'll play it on the episode. And
sounds good.
Oh, damn. You're going to play it on the episode?
Hell yeah, I'm going to play it on the episode.
Oh, hell.
You think I was just going to listen to it and tell you guys about it? No.
I was hoping you'd play it on the episode.
Oh, yeah. We want to include the listeners. So
yeah, absolutely. That's
if you're a rabid, foaming out the mouth Metal Gear fan, leave us a message.
Or just rabid, foaming out the mouth, mad at me.
And yeah, or if you're just rabid and you need medical attention, dial 911. Don't call us. It's probably not the best idea to call us when you're at that moment. You're probably already mad, like crazy mad, and you shouldn't be listening to this anyway.
Maybe even have mad cow disease.
What are we doing? Anyways, this was Codec Calls, a Metal Gear Saga podcast, and I was your co-host, Luis.
Hey guys, I'm German.
And I'm Dammit Kriss.
And we'll see you guys next time. Play along with us all the way to the bald guy.
All the way to the baldy.
And leave us messages. No spoilers, by the way.
Oh yeah.
No spoilers. I will what's the word? I will
filter?
Not screen, not filter. What is the word I'm trying to look for?
Ban? I don't know.
I will ban you from listening. No, but I will
vet.
I will vet. Yes, I will vet the call before so that it doesn't spoil anything for us. And if it does, I'll bleep it out or something.
Okay.
Oof.
Just in case like something slips. You never know if something slips. I will bleep it out so that the whole message doesn't get completely lost.
It should be pretty clear if they're trying to do it on purpose versus it was an accident. So.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Yes, sir. The entire episode is out now. Those three are still playing. More content? Yes, sir. Pixel-benders.com is the best place to find it. Yes, you can click the link in the description below. Yes, you can send your questions to info@pixel-benders.com. No, sir. It doesn't cost a thing to give the show a 5-star rating. That's right. Nobody knows you are the one that will keep this podcast alive. Yes. Thank you. Goodbye, Mr. Listener.